Hey, welcome. How's everybody doing? Hi, welcome to the stream. My name is Bernard Chang, professional comic book artist slash designer. Um, this is also will probably be joined shortly by Mr. Sean Chen. I don't know if Jerry's gonna come on. He said he's out and about today. We're getting off to a slightly earlier start than normal. Our usual time is 7 p.m., but now today it's 6:30 something. Trying out a little bit of an earlier slot. Uh, Everything seems normal, although more technical difficulties. Um, I had to reset up the entire OBS, so it seems like every time there's something new, I had to re-input all the art assets. Um, and then I guess I haven't even had the opportunity to hear from any of the other guys jumping on stream to chat. See how that goes, because we usually have uh, some issues with that. Anyways, um, Tuesday usually Battle of the Sketches, hashtag Battle of the Sketches, and then our new initiative hashtag Panel to Panel, where we also kind of every Wednesday, Comic Book Wednesday, we launch a new panel from a creator-owned story. So, hoping you guys are join along. I know a lot of you have joined us for the Battle of the Sketches, and now for 2021, we're looking to do our own stories. You know, one panel a week. The first January and February, we're going to be focusing on character design, maybe story, laying out some of the story, and then probably I think by March we'll start seeing some panels rolling in. Although I already launched with some panels, but that's because the story that I'm working on was something that I had started a few years ago. So I had an early start. I think I only did about 4 or 5 pages of the story. The story was actually something that I came up with when I was trying to break into comics. It was part of my portfolio. I'm still looking for those pages. Um, they're somewhere in the studio. Uh, Hopefully, I'll be able to find them. Whenever I clean the studio is when I don't know where anything is, because then it gets moved into a new position or new slot or new shelf. Um, Let me say hello to everybody real quick. Go down the line. Let's see who's here. CHEN, 00. Good to see you, CHEN. Hubba hubba. Long Wu. Long was here. Good to see you again, Long Wu. Long was here. Long Wu's been posting a lot of stuff on Instagram. That's good. A lot of artwork. Also, you throw in a lot of background in your work, which is great because it puts all the characters in context and it creates a separate, different element. Um, Lurky Lurker. Lurky Lurker. Good to see you, Lurky Lurker from Canada. Lurky Lurker. Golf Boy Sunday. Good to see you. Thank you for the sub. 6 months. Awesome. Thank you so much, Golf Boy. But by the way, you still owe me a picture, my friend. Could be my brother-in-law. Hubba hubba. Cool Hand Luke. I was hoping the new stickers would come in today. Taking a little bit of time. But hopefully next stream they'll be in. I can show off the new stickers. Yeah, as you can hear in the background, my birds, Beavis and Butthead, they're flying about. If both of them land on my shoulders, then everybody on stream wins a sticker. Those stickers are expensive. Hi everyone. Cool Hand Luke. DYI Pickle. Cool Hand Luke won the other week, a couple weeks ago. DYI Pickle. Oh, Domo streaming? Oh, Okay. Just say hello to Domo. Oh, Mike's streaming too. Yeah. I wonder how that. I think in a couple weeks we're going to be probably co-streaming on YouTube. Not with Mike. This stream, like how he does it. We're kind of just basically copying him, riding on his coattails. RN Ingrid, hello. RN Ingrid, how are you doing? RN Ingrid is our resident RN. So if anybody has any kind of medical emergency during the stream, you can throw out a question to RN Ingrid. Hopefully she'll be able to help you. But she's not liable for anything. It's only what is it? Opinions? Jamie Odell. So if you do need to seek medical attention, you should probably call 911. Jamie Odell, how you doing? Good to see you. Wildstorm SSG. I'm on early today. I think 6:30, 6:40, 6:39, 6:39, 6:38. Try to inch it up a little bit each week. Maybe get a little bit earlier start. I noticed some of the East Coast guys fading last couple of streams. And then I know like we gotta get David LaFuente from Spain on, so that might be a late afternoon stream because they're on a whole other kind of timeline over there. So still gotta work that out. We got a couple other guests coming up today. No, just a solo show, solo or duo show. And then hopefully I think next week we've been kind of pushing this dramatic table read of Batman Beyond number 50. I still have to get my hands on a copy of the book. I haven't been able to find one yet. I was thinking about just getting it on Comixology. I think if I can't get one by the end of this week, then I'll just get that. But we got Perry Shen, actor from General Hospital, one of our first celebrity guests to perhaps play a part. Perhaps. He might ad-lib too, who knows. Gelatin Guy, good to see you, Gelatin Guy. Gelatin Guy, you were on like a couple streams ago, right? I think I remember you posting, but I don't think I said hello. I hope everybody can hear me. B-Dub, good to see you. Where is that B-Dub and Gelatin Guy have the same emote? Which one is that from? Or is that a generic one? Kid the Ninja, what's up, Kid the Ninja? Good to see you, man. How's the artwork coming along? Kid the Ninja. Has school started up yet? I guess. I think like first week after New Year's, right? Make sure you keep drawing. Draw as much as you can. You're going to learn a lot at your age. Have a lot of fun, but, you know, push yourself. But Kid the Ninja, actually, do you want to be our Get Back coach today? How old are you again? We have a Get Back coach. We need 2 Get Back coaches. One Get Back coach. In football, there is a coach on the sidelines that just tells all the players and other coaches, get back, get back. Usually when there's a big play like a interception, pick six or whatever, fumble recovery, all the players and coaches get really excited, and sometimes they have a tendency to run onto the field unknowingly, and at which point the team might incur a penalty. So there's a specific coach that is assigned to make sure everybody gets back. So our get back coach would be, since we're kind of on the more mature, experienced level, I didn't want to say older level, but, you know, if our references get too dated, we need a young, hip whippersnapper to like tell us to, hey, get back to the more contemporary, modern realm of pop culture. Because we start, you know, sometimes going off on We got Buck Rogers, Thundercats. We start talking about Battlestar Galactica. We start talking about, um, you know, stuff from our youth. So if you want it, Kid the Ninja, today you can be our Get Back coach. Yojimbo, good to see you, Yojimbo. 007, our moderator. Of course, one of the, if not the best moderator on Twitch. Mr. Complete knowledge of most everything. If it wasn't for Yojimbo, this stream would not be as informative or entertaining. And we'd basically crash and burn most of the time. So, thank you, Yojimbo. Good to see you. System state snapshot option. Possibly. This has happened before. I think you're referring to the OBS system where it's happened once or twice before where I'll quit it, after the stream, and then the next time I come on, nothing is up. I have to reset everything. Frustrating. But what else is new, right? Technical difficulties. What else is new? I should create a new banner. Goes up here. Golf Boy Son. Hey, Wei Hi. How are you doing? Wei Hi. Wei, ni hao. Golf Boy would love to participate in P2P, but can't afford to get invested in this kind of process. Okay. Last week I showed the Captain America samples from when I was breaking in. I started those when I was 18, 19. It took me about a year to a year and a half of. I really started the end of my freshman year. So the end of my freshman year, I would have been 19, 18, just turning 19. And then I started working professionally the beginning of my third year in college. So I was 20 by then. So about a year and a half of doing sequentials, meaning storytelling pages, comic book pages. Prior to that, I had been drawing pretty much since I can remember as a little kid, 3 or 4 years old. Went to art high school, drew all the time. James Quo, good to see you. Hi, everybody. Hi, James Quo. Well, between us and your doorman, eventually you have cleaned up enough to find it. Yes, that's true, Looky Alert. But the doorman is busy, watching out for Steve, who's our other mod. But, Steve only shows up midstream. Yeah, doorman's extremely busy. It's always kind of weird, like, you tip the doorman at the end of the year, but then it's like, will he remember what unit you live in? You kind of want to do it maybe around where you live, your unit. It's like that Seinfeld episode where George Costanza is putting the tip in the tip jar, but he wants to make sure the person sees him putting it in. Otherwise, he feels like doesn't count, or whatever. Longwu says ABC #ABC fan art challenges, yo. Oh right, okay, that's what you've been doing. So there's only, how many is there altogether? Longwu said you're down to the last 7. Was it like 20 something? CJing asked if we're still interested about putting together a book with the Battle of the Sketches. Possibly. I mean, that's all in the Jerry field right now. It has been discussed. Like Jim Lee put one out recently, right? And it's very impressive. Hardbound, hardback, fairly thick volume of all the sketches that he's done on Twitch. Very impressive. You know, ours would be nowhere near that. But you know, we'll see. I mean, there's definitely a lot of art being accumulated, so um, we'll see how it goes. Uh, the kids are excited tonight. There is a high probability that they will be landing on my shoulders. They have not interacted with their daddy yet today. They've been. Oh, there's one. There's one. Who is this one? I think that's Butthead, right? No, that's Beavis. That's Beavis. Look at that. He's very curious about the ear pod. I think he wants to pierce my ear. And you know, I actually don't mind if there's a high probability that they might poop on my shoulder. I mean, should that be another prize? That if they land on my shoulder and one of them poops on my shoulder, that should be like another prize. I mean, actually getting pooped on by birds is like good luck, right? Yojimbo, back me up on that one. Golf ball, we could go like golfing, you know? I got 2 sets of Cleveland gunmetal irons. I've been thinking actually this week of going to hitting the range. Well, Aaron Ingrid has Band-Aids if anybody gets hurt. Virtual Band-Aids. Yeah, David LaFuente. I think he's one of the most... I wouldn't say he's underrated because he's actually pretty popular, but he definitely has a very interesting, unique style. I mean, it's a combination of kind of cartoonish, but it's very dynamic. There's definitely a superhero element. The character expressions, I can never get tired of looking at David's work. So hopefully we can get him on sooner than later. And he's actually a really fun guy to chat with. I met him briefly at Aviles Comic Fest in Aviles, Spain, a couple years ago. Great guy. So, Sean is with me in spirit. Jim is lurking. Jim is cooking. He usually cooks dinner and eats around this time. So, he's quite a chef. Although I've never eaten any of Jim's food, home-cooked food before. I wonder, will it give me superpowers or not? Yokai Artist. Good to see you, Yokai Artist. Welcome back. I remember Yokai was on here the other day as well. I think it's another Kid the Ninja you're thinking of. You're old. Oh. You're an older Kid the Ninja? KTN? I thought there was another. I thought it was Kid. Maybe it was another ninja something. I thought you were the one that showed the Nightwing artwork. No? Sorry about that, Kid the Ninja. But I do remember your name. In real life, I would have forgotten your name already. I mean, I would remember your face, but online I have to remember names. So, D. Rogers, thank you for the sub. 5 months. Awesome. Thank you so much, D. Rogers. Thank you guys for all the support. You know, on the stream, all the sub money's been going to cover all the shipping for all the artwork. So, want to appreciate everybody's support. Soup episode, yes, Blues Boy. No, I don't know. Was that in the soup episode where Costanza's leaving the tip in the tip jar, and he's waiting for the person to see it? So maybe that might be it. That might be it. Va'air. Oh, Va'air is back. Welcome back, Va'air. Good to see you. I think we called your name at one of the wheel things. Also got to figure out a new wheel giveaway, maybe. You know, it is getting kind of arduous setting that thing up. Um, I do like the suspense, and it gives me a chance to re-interact with everybody on stream by calling everybody's name out. Um, I've seen this marble thing, but this marble game setup, which could work as a giveaway for the winner. Um, However, it's not available for the Mac yet, in my understanding. So, if you guys have any other kind of like games that you see that might be like, like kind of like the marbles game where everybody can enter, and then it goes through this random thing, and the winner gets the whatever winner wins. I think that would be cool. Uh, so far, Beavis has landed on my shoulder, but Butthead is busy eating. That's what he does. He eats all the time. So Long Wu, there's 26. Oh, 26. Oh, letters. ABC. Oh, that's why ABC challenge. Okay. I get it now. I get it. Man, when you see these stickers, they're pretty awesome. I think I should have ordered more. But I wanted to see them first in hand before I ordered more. I didn't want to plop down a whole bunch of cash and then not be satisfied with it. But I have a feeling they're going to look pretty cool. Lurky Lurker suggests a tier of prizes. 2 birds, 2 poops. That's like 2 cups, 2 birds. Well, usually they poop on the backside, so you can't really see it. Nope, nothing. Hey, there's Sean Chen. Sean Chen popping in on the chat. Voldendor's here. Voldendor. What if Voldendor and Va-Air got into like a contest? Those are like Voldendor versus Va-Air. Come on, Beavis. Oh, there's Beavis. Beavis is like, come on, guys. Oh, nope. It is considered good luck in Chile. What do you know? Birds pooping on you is considered good luck in some cultures. Yes. So, I guess Chinese culture, it's good luck. What other cultures is good luck to have birds poop on you? And is there a culture where there's other kinds of poops that provide more luck? Like, what if you're in is there a culture where if a cow poops on you, you get good luck? That would be a massive dump. I mean, I don't know how hard up for good luck. Maybe like if that was true, you would have like a cow. Oh, you could like set one up outside of a casino. And say, hey, let my bird poop on you. $20, but it'll give you good luck. I'm sure somebody would pay for that, right? I mean, always got to be entrepreneurial. Jim shares sushi with me, yes, but I still haven't had any of the sushi. So, it's about eating it. It might build up the probiotics in my stomach. Jim Cheung is on chat. Food can make my butt explode. Superpower. Jim's voice also is very soothing, thus relaxes my bowels. Almost every single time I talk to him. If I talk to Jim on the phone for more than 15 minutes, I gotta evacuate a little bit. Art Jedi. Okay, thank you, Golf Boy Sunday. Yes, Art Jedi. Okay. All right, Racer GRX. Good to see you. Let's see. All right, I think I'm almost close to the end here. So the stores have mostly sold out of Batman Beyond number 50. I might have to buy it online. Sean, have you picked out a scene yet? I know Perry expressed interest in perhaps being Old Man Bruce Wayne. Batman Beyond obviously is Batman 35, technically 35 years in the future, but if you watch the animated show, it's like 100 years in the future almost. I mean, because there's flying cars. 35 years, maybe. But a lot of the architecture is like completely new, so that was a thing. Like when Dan Jurgens and I set out to restart Batman Beyond a few years ago, one of the visual cues was to maintain a mix of old and new buildings because, realistically thinking, not all the Gotham would not be completely rebuilt in 35 years. There would be actually a heavy concentration of old existing buildings, and then maybe small scattering of newer ones. So, or retrofitted ones, right? I don't know what Volendor and Vaer would be doing. What do you guys think Volendor and Vaer? Epic UFC, pay-per-view. I don't know. I mean, do we want to play Jackbox? What's up, J Dang? Cow pooping on you is kind of bad luck, I would think. But, a bat pooping on you. Really? Bat would be the best luck than the wing animal. Flying squirrel is bad. See, like, these birds, they mainly eat seeds and vegetables. So, and actually my birds, because they're so small, this particular breed doesn't have a large intestine. Well, technically there's like two sets of intestines, but the second set is not very long. So the food doesn't stay inside their bodies for very long. They eat it, and then half an hour later, boom, it comes out. So, or I mean maybe a little bit later, but they do poop fairly regularly. So the poop doesn't stay in their body, so it doesn't ferment, it doesn't smell. It's actually just odorless. I'm saying this after having the birds for 6-7 years. Maybe I'm just used to the smell and I don't smell it anymore. But I'm pretty sure it's odorless. Pigeons, not all birds, like pigeons, their poop smell. And other kind of birds, but my birds, their poop doesn't smell. Ooh, D. Rogers got a Batman Beyond 50 remark. Nice. So Sean says the final scene is the most dramatic. How many characters are in the final scene? Batman Beyond, which is Terry McGinnis. We got Wonder Woman, Barbara Gordon. You said there were like 3 females. Who was the third one? Dana Tran. Does anybody have a synthesizer that can play like live music, dramatic music, while we're like reenacting? That was the other thing we were talking about yesterday, Sean and I. If we had some music in the background. I mean, I know I see people on stream, they have like the whatchamacallit, soundboard, but I don't know if we're up to that level yet. Volendor, that's right. Properly detail the character's footwear. Because you would think, like, wrestling shoes versus basketball shoes versus tennis shoes versus, soccer shoes, or, all those are different. There's a particular purpose to some of that, like the soccer cleats. They have a flatter front toe, or more coverage in the toe area because that area is where it kicks a lot, right? It impacts the ball. And they're kind of low and flat to the ground, so you have a much better feel. You're not really concerned with being taller or necessarily more cushion because you're normally playing in grass. Wrestling shoes, same thing, wrestling shoes have a very thin insole or outsole, whatever they call that, because you need to feel your foot needs to have a particular level, a leverage with the floor when you're grappling. Um, oh, I think watching my mainstream, it just froze. I don't know what's happening. My browser encountered an error. Can you guys still hear me? Bat poop is guano. I think bat poop smells, though. It looks like it smells. Yeah. Is Ace in the scene too, Sean? I don't know if Ace is in the scene. Okay, so you guys can still see and hear me. All right. Yeah, I am running off of the Ethernet. I've refreshed my browser. Okay, caught up with everybody. Let's see now. Also, I think eventually some of this. Has everybody seen Cobra Kai season 3 yet? Can we talk about it a little bit? Has everybody seen it? Let me do a quick poll. Seen Cobra Kai season 3? Yes or no? Do this a quick 1-minute poll, just to see. Can we talk about season 3? Yojimbo is still somewhere in season 2. Netflix on pause for the moment. Okay. Hand wave. Somehow my thing seems to be. Okay. All right. Well, you guys can still see and hear me. Yeah, because I'm thinking about changing the dojo. Right now we're still in the Cobra Kai dojo. So the new dojo would be reflective of season 3. Maybe I'll wait a couple more episodes. Yeah. Give a couple more weeks. Wait till everybody sees it. Don't want to give too much stuff away. I mean, I think people have already seen the. Well, who knows? All right, let me take down the walls. Take down the wall. Bang bang. The warrior. Okay. That's probably copyright. So we talked about last time. Starting your own stories, you got to do these character sheets. This was from Generations Shattered, which is a DC book that just came out last week. I think it came out last week. Did it come out last week or yesterday or today? I had done these sketches. This one's a quick one of Kid Commandy. I didn't even finish the hair. Just to give like a. This one's of Booster Gold. So again, I like to do these character sketches, character sheets of all the major and secondary characters in the story, whichever one I'm working on. That way I use it as reference. You know, when you draw in a comic book, 20 pages, sometimes the character doesn't show up on every page. So there might be like a week or two where you're not drawing the character at all. Because you're in another scene. And so I always want to have like a point of reference that I can go back to, so that the art maintains some kind of consistency. Otherwise, during the course of a run, during the course of drawing a monthly comic, your art style is going to change. How you draw people are going to change. whether it's through efficiency, through timing. So even this, I look at like, this was my first sketch of Damian Wayne when I was doing Teen Titans. And, you know, he's changed considerably from issue 20 to the last issue, which was like 30 something. So I think 36, 38, something like that. Let me see. These are some character sketches from Nightwing. These are some secondary characters in Nightwing. Also, you know, putting them in particular poses that might be reflective of their character. I'm looking at this now. Her arm is a little long. Should be maybe a little bit up a little bit. It's like she would make a good volleyball player. So she had really long arms, like a 7-foot wingspan. But this was one of the girls that was in the in Dick Grayson's CrossFit gym. Let's see who else. This was Detective Sepulveda, or slow. She's a little bit thicker. She has these kind of like thick boots, right? And you can see like, even with this girl, she has like these knee-high, almost very fashionable knee-high boots with the heels. These are almost like, what are they? Like, horse riding pants. What are they called? I once dated a girl that wore those, and I thought it was extremely sexy. So, I don't know if she ever rode horses. She just wore horse riding pants. Oh, it was very sexy. So I think there's like certain patches, or like not patches, but like seams, right? This one is the detective. So obviously she would have like a badge. Something happened. Stirrups. No, stirrups. Well, stirrups is a. Oh, Michael D. Nicola. Oh, wow. Mike just rated us. Michael, how you doing? Good to see you on here, my friend. I was just telling everybody how I'm slowly copying everything that you're doing. Good to see you, man. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Make sure you hit the follow button. I think it's down here somewhere. We have a couple of co-hosts. One's out to dinner, and then the other one is putting his kids to sleep. So, but right now we're showing off. I'm showing off some character sketches. These are character sheets that I do before I actually start on the comic. Each individual comic. These are character sheets from my Nightwing run. These are all supporting characters in the Nightwing. This one, I think his name was Raj. He was like a male dancer. I know Michael would like this, male dancer. You know, I modeled this guy after I think Raj Patel. I think his name is. The guy from there's two different guys. One guy from there's the HBO murder show, and then the other guy is from what was that movie with the lion? Was it called Lion? But also, like, again, like these character sketches, point of reference for me when I'm drawing the book. Sometimes you're not drawing this character for a week or two, and so when I do jump back in, Dev Patel, yes. So when I do jump back in with this guy, I can refer back to Dave Attell. Close, Mr. Joshua. Dave Attell is one of my favorite comedians. But you can tell, like, even in the sketch, you know, he's got a particularly long torso, a little bit longer than normal, you know, a lot of chest hair, nicely groomed facial hair. He has a towel, maybe some, like, workout gloves, some boxer, and then boxer briefs, and then some, like, boxing, you know, I guess, like, boxing sneakers, whatever, boots. So, you know, he's in the gym. He's like a CrossFit guy, UFC guy, kind of. This guy was the judge. He was the main villain in the Nightwing run. you know, again, also, if I have time, I'll do a couple different character expressions. Racer GRX, there you go. Dev Patel and Riz Ahmed, yeah. Rez Ahmed, yeah. Very attractive guy. What was that? It was a good HBO murder mystery show. D. Rogers. I want to show next week. I'll show I'll show the Children of the Atom character sketches. But this guy also, he has like a particular look, kind of a very hipstery beard, sort of long, flowing, wavy hair. Always wears sunglasses, and if you read the series later on, you'll find out why he's always reading sunglasses. This girl, she actually was only in a few pages, but she was like the secretary to the mayor. But also, like, again, figuring out, working on the different characters. Oh, no. She was actually, it's been a couple of years. Oh, these two are the same. Actually, no, she was not the secretary. She was like an activist. So she had an alter ego at night where she would go be a vigilante in Bloodhaven. And then this was her vigilante outfit. Right, kind of, a roller girl a little bit. Knee pads, elbow, shin pads. Dev is Indian and Rez is Pakistani. Yes. I do not mean... I don't think I said where they were from, but... maybe. Right. The Night of, yes. The Night of, GRX. Yeah, that was a good show. Right. Chibernobi. How do you keep a character constant when you're drawing them in distance, scaling them smaller? Well, again, I mean, some of it is I'm doing these character sheets so that I have a reference to in which I'm going back. You can kind of see there's some slight differences in the face, although these two look, now that I'm looking at it, it's kind of similar. But so for this character here on the left, her eyes are a little bit wider apart. They're a little bit slightly more almond shaped. Her nose is a little bit more rounder. They both have very luscious lips. Hair is different. Her forehead is a little bit more rounder and a little bit higher up. And then these are just like kind of visual cues. It's probably a little bit more apparent when you're looking at the smaller versions of them. Although there are some slight similarities. We talked about before on the stream. Some artists have a tendency of drawing certain features in their characters. There was a phase that people go through sometimes. I went through a phase where I was drawing very long noses. Now I'm drawing shorter noses because the noses were getting way too long. This was the Jim Cheung. Subscribe with Prime. That's right. If you guys have Prime, if you have Amazon Prime, you guys can subscribe for free. Jim actually won a sketchbook last time. Or did he win in drawing? And then also the pose that you're having them in kind of can tell a little bit about the character. Right? This girl was the assistant. Her legs are slightly thicker. Although she still has a somewhat slender body, her calves are a little bit thicker. Her thighs and calves are a little bit thicker. Bailendor, who's on Michael's stream, I think he would appreciate this maybe. Although I think her boobs are too small for him. So Bale, if you're watching, I don't know. These are some other secondary characters. This one is the King Shark. This was Guppy's dad. He's a shark / human. DC tends to have a lot of like shark people, and they walk around like as if they're totally normal. So this is the more older version. This is the younger version of King Shark. So he actually, we don't really even see this version as the wrestler. But I thought when he was younger, he was a professional wrestler. Maybe won like he was a champion. Maybe he was like intercontinental champion. A little coif of hair to give him a little personality. Also, the torso is a little bit thicker and wider and shorter. Short, thick, stubby arms, stubby sausage fingers. Very hairy. And kind of old school 70s, 80s wrestling WWF before they went to WWE. WWF, not even WWF, like NWC, one of those off circuit, but maybe WWF. You could probably see that he wrestled at one point in Madison Square Garden in the haze, like in the arena where there's just covered with smoke, cigarette smoke, because they used to allow people to smoke inside. And then this is him, maybe at the retired phase where he's a little bit older. Now he has a little bit more stubble. Maybe he's selling cars now. He's a car salesman. He parlayed his fame from wrestling into having a stream of car dealerships or electronics. Probably electronics, like a electronics store. Obviously a bigger gut. I should have made his hands a little bit thicker then. Right. Yeah, but gold chain, shirt is unbuttoned, so you see the hairy chest. Definitely, I think when I was drawing this, I was thinking Harvey Weinstein a little bit. Harvey Weinstein-esque. Although, and then this is, of course, the more contemporary version of him, where now he is just old, has to carry an IV bag around, and here his stubby fingers are back. This is not necessarily a see-through gown, but it's just to show that he's got basically a big gut, and the gut hangs over his gunt. Is that area called the gunt? Can we say gunt? Too late. Nice slippers. So obviously he's a little bit beyond his years. And then this was my favorite character. This was his son, called Guppy. So King Shark's son, Guppy, he played a major role in the series. He has a pair of like old cowboy boots, ill-fitting clothes. He's wearing like this kind of leather jacket with the fur collar. He just looks a little like, what would you say? Like a sketchy. He looks a little sketchy. Looks like a hustler, like a grifter. Gave him like some stubble. It's like he has a little cigarette hanging down. Probably perennial loser. So again, these are all drawings. I'm just by looking at them. It's not at this point. I mean, at this part of the journey, there's a focus on, drawing. How well you draw, how well the characters do you draw. What's up, Beef Skeleton? But at the same time, infusing character traits into the artwork. And then quickly run through the rest of this before I start drawing. So when you guys are coming up with your stories, think about some of the characters. You don't have to figure out every character at this point. I mean, it would be good. Like if you were to write a graphic novel, you should have all your characters going. But right now what we're doing is just kind of like a serial that's kind of, we're making the story more organic. This is a more organic process. Typically in a comic book format, for a major publisher, all your characters would be developed, the storyline, timeline, everything is figured out. So, that's why we're going to spend the first 2 months trying to iron some of that stuff out. But, I'm not going to hold everybody to the point where they're not doing it 100%. You know, the point is to get stories out there. So this was the original Matt McGinnis sketch. Matt McGinnis being Terry McGinnis's younger bratty brother. Sean lamented that this outfit that I put him in, he had to draw him for, I don't know, like a year. Sorry, Sean. I thought, you know, like a little kid, kind of little futuristic Marty McFly with the vest, like maybe kind of puffy, but still more modern if, or futuristic. Futuristic cut. Cuts are a little bit more angular at the time. I'm thinking fashion then is a little bit different than fashion now. You know, this is from the, I think there was a Nike Fear of God collaboration that they had these ribbings. I thought, oh, that'd be kind of cool, you know, throw that in there. And, you know, have some kind of like form-fitting sneakers. I forgot who this guy was. This was from the Kid Commandy era, but this was, anybody want to help out? A tiger dude. This was also during Batman Beyond, but yeah, I think he was originally from the Kid Commandy stories by Jack Kirby. Prince something, I want to say. This was a Dana Tran sketch. And I showed the finished versions of these last time. They're on my Instagram page, the BERNARD CHANG, if you guys want to check it out. I forgot to put the links up there. Crispy Papa, good to see you. Master the Blaster, welcome. This was, I think this was Tim Drake. This was Tim Drake. Originally, Tim Drake, during my Batman Beyond run, he was Batman Beyond. After Future's End, supposedly Terry McGinnis died, saving the world, and passed along the Batman Beyond suit to Tim Drake, who then got zapped into the future and held down Batman Beyond for a little bit. So, you know, part of this was influenced by football gear, a lot of stuff that they wear, protective gear underneath the jerseys and pads. You know, I'm thinking like, look, if you're going to be a superhero and you're going to be fighting, why not have a little padding? You know, a little protective armor wouldn't hurt, right? And all these lines too, in terms of the ribbing, gives a little bit of a visual, something to look at. This was GDP, Gotham Police Department. This was a take on the Gotham Police Department police officers. Kind of your traditional body armor helmets. There were versions of these in the animated show, but I had to update them, you know, with some helmets, some new helmets, you know, body cam, kind of a modified streamlined gun. This was probably like a regular police officer, and then this is armored SWAT. This is Barbara Gordon. Barbara Gordon. From Batman Beyond. This was Lucius Fox. Lucius Fox. Gave him like a, what is that? What is that called? A little skin tag. Not a wart, but like a skin tag, like a little juicy ball, you know. I think I had an uncle. I think my dad had one of those. It's like a little juicy ball. Like, you want to pop it, but it's not a pimple. You know. All right. Oh, and then this was never before seen Lobo. Of course, this is not like the Lobo that. This was for villains. The Year of the Villains for DC last year or the year before. They had the Year of the Villains. So I was tasked to redesign Lobo, since Lobo was going to be appearing in the Teen Titans book, of which I was drawing. And So they're like, come up with a new Lobo and make him badass. And it's like, Lobo's already pretty badass, right? I mean, it's extremely difficult to make him even more badass than he already was. So then I'm thinking, all right, well, uh, I'll give him like a heavy beard. I'll make his head a cranial, like pushed back a little bit, so it's a little bit more animalistic or less human looking. Um, uh, give him almost like dreads, but not really dreads, but like thicker hair. Whereas I think before he has kind of like a curly kind of feel. Um, give him like a tattoo, even though like the editor was like, well, technically he wouldn't be able to be tattooed because I guess the tattoo wouldn't, penetrate his skin. Because Lobo is like, if not stronger, if not the same strength, but maybe perhaps stronger than Superman. Like they fought, and I think Lobo was the only character to have defeated Superman at one point, besides Doomsday. But then I said, well, it could just be painted on, right? I mean, could be like a ritualistic, uh, you know, whatever, right? And then like going into the details of the story of the tattoo, there is a mythical kind of ox or bull is blowing out flames. There's like a fish character in here. There's a dragon character in here. There's actually a couple of dragon characters that are coming out. So there's like a little bit of a story within the tattoo itself. Temporary tattoo, right? You can actually get temporary tattoos. You can actually get that paper in real life. Come up with some kind of design, print it out on your inkjet printer, and then like cut it out and put it on your body. I did that once. I felt pretty badass. And then the other thing about this Lobo design, well, aside from the torso, again, it was harking back to this Bruno Sammartino kind of like thick torso, WWF 1970s, 60s wrestling feel, because like his normal one is like he's very svelte and not svelte, but he's like a little bit more like a bodybuilder. This one's a little bit more like he's pounding a couple of beers while he's beating up some bad guys, but he's still strong as fuck. So, and then the hooks that he has a chain. So I thought, oh, what if the chain was connected to his actual body, his skeleton? So, um, so the hooks came out of his bones. It was actually attached inside of his bones. And since he has regenerative abilities, it doesn't matter. He can have stuff coming out from inside. So when he's pulling people, he's literally attached to the chain itself. And then the rest is just, thicker legs, boots, little demon kneecaps, knee pads. Well, so I would encourage you. This is actually a really fun, portion of the design stage, is to do all these character designs. So the key is, you got, when you're working on a comic book, you only have limited amount of time. So especially if it's a monthly book, and a lot of times a lot of this stuff is not paid. Especially with the secondary characters or the police officers, so you got to really find the time to do it on your own. And I do it for myself to have a more consistent look throughout the book, especially if you're a regular monthly artist and you're going to be on the book for a while. You don't want the characters to change too dramatically from issue to issue. Volador. If you want to post character designs, I'm going to do that this week. I think I'm going to post another couple panels, but I will post some character designs. I think that would be a part of the process, right? And then I think so. What you want to do is you want to start off like have come up with a list of however many main characters there are, and then you got locations. Um, and then once you compile the list, right? So let's say I got. Let me pull up the. Let me pull up my. Open up the Photoshop. Do 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 do. Uh oh. Uh oh. Sean, are you there? I think I might have heard Sean. I have all these screens up. Oh, Mr.
Yeah, I'm here.
Mr. Chen. Can you guys hear Sean?
Hear me?
Yes, I think so. I see the meter. There we go. Oh, wait, hold on.
There's a delay, so they'll hear it
Oh,
pretty soon.
okay. Okay, hold on. There's a reverb. So why is there a reverb?
Oh no, more technical difficulties. Well, I mean, they can hear me. I think the reverb might be on you.
But
on
can
your
they hear it?
headphones.
Can they hear the reverb?
Crispy Papa says loud and clear.
Oh, so no reverb on their part. Okay, then I'll just live with it. I don't want to start pushing buttons. Uh, and
Might
then,
drive crazy.
yeah, right. So, well, it's a slight it's almost like I'm hearing you, and I'm in the loony bin, and you're like, I don't know where the speaker is coming from, and you're in stereo. But as
Well, I think my sound quality is not as great because CHEN says it sounds like I'm in a can.
yeah, that's what I mean. Let me. Okay. All right. Technical difficulties.
As per usual. But those are great. A great trip down character designs of the past. That was
What about
really
now?
cool.
I think I just eliminated
Hello?
it. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Because it was coming out. Because these are noise canceling, so they canceled out some of the noise. But then I think it was coming out of the computer as well. That's why it was. For me, it was getting the reverb. But much better. Okay, there we go. Shoo. Come on, we're on episode 56. We need a tech. We need a tech guy. Hey, Bobby K, how you doing? So, Sean, when you were doing your next your wingman, did you sketch out, do character sheets of?
Not really, because those were existing characters. So I had a bunch of black and white photos I found on the internet of those like movie stills,
Mm-hmm.
and just kept them all in a folder. So it was kind of cheating, but interesting thing though. I was listening to some interviews with both Brett Booth and then later on with Peach Momoko. Someone asked him like, "What's the hardest part of doing comics?" And both of them said that they hated drawing characters that didn't know what they look like, so they'd have to go look for reference or keep referring to some kind of reference while they draw.
Right.
So they're kind of inconvenienced by having to stop the drawing process and go look at what a character looks like. And that sounded crazy to me because for me, the problem is just trying to get the drawing to actually work. So those guys, those two people can draw so well that their biggest problem is inconvenience of having to look up a character.
Well, I mean, it is an inconvenience, especially if you don't know the character. But
Yeah, so Brett Booth wants to, well, he's happy when he gets to draw X-Men from the time where he read it, so he doesn't have to look it up.
oh, well,
And I
yeah.
was thinking, like, looking up the character is like the least of that's a cakewalk compared to trying to survive this panel.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pain in the butt. right? If you're familiar with the characters, then you don't really have to spend time going back and forth. But it is somewhat arduous, but I wouldn't say it's the worst
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying they draw so well that this thing that I consider to be a minor inconvenience or one of the easiest things, problems to solve, is actually their biggest problem.
Let me see here. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Preview. There we go. Okay. All right. So I got a preview of.
I think the interview with Peach Momoko was on that Marvel. It was like a live drawing where she drew was it Psylocke?
Oh yeah.
And and then the Brett Booth one was, I think, on, I don't know, it's one of those YouTube channels.
Perch.
Maybe, or maybe Dan Shaheen or something.
So you guys can see I've already done 4 pages. These were done like 2012. But the original first time I did it was in my portfolio back when I was 19, 20. So I don't have the original story sheets with me. Couldn't find them. But basically, I'll figure out like, okay, we got this kind of set of characters. We figure out how many characters there are. Write them all out. As our main hero is San, right? There's Lee. Who are some of these other guys? Anyways,
Those are great tones on there.
yeah, thank you. This was only a black and white book, so we couldn't do any kind of colors. So let's say if we have, I'll just do our main character as San. San translates to mountain in Chinese, but he's our main protagonist, and then you can kind of
How high is a mountain in China?
they're pretty high. I mean, the Himalayas in
No,
China.
The answer to that is yes.
How high is the time in China?
Now, how high is a mountain in China? And then you're supposed to say yes.
I don't get it.
It's the name of the mountain.
Is high?
How high?
How high?
Yes.
I don't get it.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Interrupting with a dad joke.
I don't get it. And then also like the main villain is Switchblade. That's his name, Switchblade.
Do you use the airbrush tool ever in Photoshop? Because you're gray toning these, but it doesn't seem like there's like spray anywhere, which is kind of cool.
Not airbrush. No, there is a fade brush fade brush, where it's like starts out gray, and then it gets dark.
Gradations.
Yeah, gradations. And then I set the pen to pressure, so however pressure you put on the pen, that's size and intensity.
Right.
At least that's what
I
I
think
tell.
most
That's what
people-
I tell the ladies. However much pressure I put is the size and intensity.
I think most people will use an airbrush, and that tends to make things look a little muddy and a little fake.
I used to use airbrush, and that's for a different look. I used to use an airbrush, but now,
Airbrush doesn't go well with outline. Outline is, it's a cartoony thing. So, and then airbrush is really for photo retouching.
yeah. So you want to have, kind of like a chart of all the different characters, locations. This is West 4th. And then from West, you figure out New York City, the village. This is actual physical location, a real location. Villain. Right. So you draw all these little kind of like Do you do this like word diagrams? Basically, you figure out, you come up with an idea, you write it down, you jot it down. It's all about writing it down as opposed to keeping everything in your head. New York City, West 4th, it's called the Cage. You know, a lot of New York City is also the mecca of basketball, or many consider the mecca of basketball. Switchblade, street baller, right? Villain, he's got blades coming out of his arms and bodies. I think I just did the arms. Yeah, he only has blades coming out of his arms. Want to give him some limitations. But he's kind of stocky. I'd say maybe he's like 6'4", right? He's not that big, but he's kind of muscular. Our main hero is probably, let's say 5'10", not that tall. Maybe a point guard. And this guy is more of a 6'4", power forward, small forward. But 6'4" in a street ball is pretty tall. You're not going to get a lot of 7-foot guys playing street ball. Anyways, come up with a pie chart or chart like this. Figure out all your characters. Figure out the location. And then once it's written down, you can start figuring, okay, well, let's draw the main character. We got to figure out, kind of what it looks like. I don't know if there's a Chinese translation for switchblade. I'm sure there is. Sean, when you were younger, did you ever have a switchblade?
No.
No?
I think the translation is switchblade.
Switchblade. Is that what Golf Boy was going for? So I had pulled this comic. I pulled actually a couple comics. I completely forgot. I got sidetracked with the original art. This is Ryan Sook, Legion of Superheroes. I think this came out late last year. Late last year or the year before? 2019 probably, right? I think. Or early 2020. I mean, Legion of Superheroes is... How many characters are in the Legion of Superheroes? Like a ton, right? And, he had to design all of them. Make them all unique. And then when you're drawing them, this is probably the toughest part. For me, it's like team books versus solo books, right? Or duo books. Team books, because you have to constantly refer back to numerous characters. You have to be able to fit numerous characters on pages. That's the pain in the ass, because you have to look at how many characters are in a panel. And these are all specific characters, so everyone has to be referenced. If it was if it was just Batman Beyond and these were all like civilians, the civilians you'd probably just draw out of your head, right? You're not really focused on accuracy. This was a nice shot of the. This is Metropolis. Maybe we should talk to Ryan, see if he would come on.
He commented on one of my drawings, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, you go from this is a really interesting layout.
Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah, the team books, especially Legion. The hardest part, you gotta draw all these different characters. And they all look unique. They all have different hairstyles, different uniforms, different facial features. Oh, wow, look at this. I mean, and then to go from something like that, and I was thinking, I pulled up these mangas that I have. And I think the reason for this is mangas are a little bit smaller format, right? Have you ever seen this one?
Yeah, I know that character.
I have no idea what this character is, but I remember I got a couple of these books. I thought, this guy looked really funny, and he's like, I think married to this, like,
Yeah, she's a beautiful woman, but
yeah,
he's like really really strange looking guy.
right. He's like,
But
he has like a fro, yeah, permed hair, thick
big eyebrows.
eyebrows, yeah, like this, like big mouth, eyes are real, So, and he's kind of stocky, right? I mean, not your ideal, uh, but
It's weird because the woman looks realistic, but if you they can't really exist in the same world because his face is such a caricature.
yeah, and he has like really small hands. He has like it's like basically no neck. It's just like the torso that goes up, right? I mean, and then, so here's the thing too, right? Like in manga, the backgrounds are hyper realistic, right? Buildings, cars, down to the hangers, the closet, everything is hyper realistic. But then when you get to the human characters, they start taking a lot of artistic liberty or creative liberty. This is a scene of him as a little boy. I mean, some of the pose and the action and the sequencing, like this sequence, I remember he's like standing by the door, he's thinking. But there's also grammatical context in manga, like he's sweating. Like you're not going to be sweating like that unless it's like 150 degrees or something, right?
Yeah, it's
But
all like very symbolic stuff.
but yeah, so it's like a grammatical context.
Yeah, they know what it means. I think most Americans, like sometimes they'll have like the giant teardrop that appears behind your head, or like the nosebleed means something.
Yeah. But subtly, like how he splits out another panel where the hand's just about to open the door, and then he finds his son. I think it's his son or somebody. Again, I don't know. I can't read it. This is actually in Chinese. I can't read any of this stuff. Maybe I should use my phone and Google Translate that.
So his son is looking at
like a Playboy or something,
This is very
And then
Japanese.
he's like, ah. So, or I think it's a memory. And even this, like you look at this, I don't know if you can really see it, but there's this textural, not a zipatone, but similar to a zipatone, where these are just circles.
I'm sure it's zipatone, but yeah, it's like a certain type of zipatone.
Yeah. So it's a nice balance between you have background and then you have just open space, right? So, the background sets everything up, right? We know that we're in a supermarket. There's another checkout counter back, or he's working. There's baskets. This guy looks like he's the supervisor or the boss. That looks like a coffee machine or coffee grinder, or maybe it's a restaurant, right? And then you go to the next one, and there's no background, right? Because we've already established where everything is. Then you got a nice extreme close-up, moving back and forth. I also found something I'll show next time. Wally Wood's 22 panels that always work. Anyways, I haven't seen this in a while, but I really enjoy.
Hey, crispy egg rolls here.
Hey, crispy egg roll, how are you doing? So, this is a funny sequence. He's at the beach, but he's like afraid of the sun. He has a hat. Then the other guys, like more muscular guys, are coming around, and of course there's a crotch shot because he's looking at the other guy. I guess he's a little jealous.
Comics are so strange in Japan.
Yeah, here's one with him and a dog, and his pants rip. But for our panel-to-panel thing, you can do whatever you want, right? So this is another example. But again, I would push. That was issue 2. Yeah, this was actually Hong Kong, $30. So whatever that translates to. I guess this is the artist. He looks like
Poop Kid's here finally.
Poop Kid, Fecal Lad, Dung Dude. What were some other
Excrement
names?
Fellow.
Excrement Fellow. All the Jim Lee mods are here. Artist Abigail Marie. How are you doing, Artist Abigail Marie? Welcome to the stream. But don't skimp out on the backgrounds, right? Because they are another character in the story. So, especially if we're only doing 1 or 2 panels a week, you know, you have to kind of reestablish. God, this guy has a really big bulge. But these are super hilarious, right? You look at this action shot of them playing tennis, right? And this is, you know, one panel, but it's framed so beautifully because look, he's not touching the ground. He's just about on the edge of the page. Nothing is cropped. But it gives you the illusion that he's, you know, he's not too high off the ground, but he's high, you know, he jumped off the ground. But if he were to put his leg down, he basically just lifted his leg up. He's not getting any kind of elevation. But the ball is about to go out. He's just about to jump, right? And he just misses the ball and he falls flat on his face. So composition, when you're working on 1 or 2 panels, even a story comic in this format, is extremely important. Then he pulls back wide to show where his girlfriend or wife is, where the other couple were playing. There's another couple on the other court. This looks kind of like a residential area. I think this is actually a photo. Kind of see a car back there. It looks like a photo. You know, and then she's coming over and helping him out. Then he remembers back when he was a little kid. And we all have done this, right? He picks his little belly button. I wish this was in English so I can understand.
Man, that guy can draw so well, but this is what he chooses to draw.
Yeah. But you know, in manga, like, they have assistants, right? So I'm sure there's like people drawing backgrounds.
Yeah, speed lines.
Yeah. You know, all this bench stuff. But beautiful work, right? I think this is kind of old too. I don't know how old this is, but 1995. This is 1995. This is pretty old. Printed in Hong Kong. Do they still make this? I would love it if anybody knows that they have an English translated version for this. All we need is Kirihiko, right? What time is it in so that's 1995, and then this is have you ever seen this book before, Robot? This is like an anthology, Robot number 8. This I think is let's see, in Japan it seems like they do the masthead in the back. 2007. So you can kind of see a lot of different styles, a lot of different artists. This is much more digital color era. I mean, if that book was 1995, it probably came out early 90s. Anyways. Alright, fun stuff. Fun stuff. You know, it could be digital. If you guys are doing stories, you could just be drawing it digitally. Obviously, 2007, digital was not... it was on the cusp, but still probably most people are doing traditional. But nowadays, if you look on, I'm sure if you even have the browser on, browsing on Twitch, most of the artists are drawing digitally. So, anyways. All right.
Wow, look at that.
What are we drawing today? We're drawing June.
Oh, that's the fun one.
Yeah.
Her ninja yo-yo, and she's a swan, right?
Is she a swan or is she
A duck, goose, duck.
I don't know. What is she? I need to find a piece of paper first. Did you do a battle of the sketches this week, Sean, or are you too busy with commissions?
No, I did it. This week is Vision from Marvel because WandaVision is coming up, so I did do it.
Oh.
I posted it in the Discord at midnight East Coast time.
Did you do the TV version, or did you do
The classic.
the classic? Oh, so we can do classic versions?
Yeah, I suppose you can do whatever you want.
Alright, there's some bird poop on this piece of paper. Maybe it's good luck. If I were to give this away, would somebody complain that there's some bird poop
Oh,
on it?
look at that! We can see it.
Yeah, it's I'll do it on the back of the paper, but yeah.
You can work it into the drawing.
It's
It's June.
June is swan
June.
poop. Swan poop
Swan
smells.
poop,
Yeah.
yeah.
Swans are and goose. Is she a goose or is she? Swan. Goose are very aggressive.
Crispy Agro, I am not doing panel by panel.
Yet.
I mean, I just have no ideas. So
Come on, you guys.
when-
You guys need to
once
encourage
people
Sean.
start doing it, I'll see what's. I just don't know how to approach it. So when I see stuff, I'll get into it. I'm a guy who usually follows Bernard's leads. So
Come on, Sean. You gotta start. You already have a bunch of early things that you can do. Right? You can do that motorcycle drawing that you did before.
yeah, it's like
You can do
20 years
the
ago.
girl. Yeah, I mean, just take that and then run with it, and then run with it for a little bit. And if you don't like it, then stop.
I had this crazy idea for this character named Vane, but it was mostly like a joke. Like, so as if I'm pitching this character, and then like, oh, Vane, like there's a character in Vane from that video game, or is it like a vampire? Because you know, Vane is like Blood Vane,
Yeah.
or maybe it's like a villain who's like very arrogant. And I'm like, no, I'm thinking more like this guy has like a weather vane on his head, and his power is that he just basically shows up and tells you which way the wind's coming from.
A weather vane, like a thing that runs down the middle of your head.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not the vein that you're thinking about. It's the weather vane.
There's also other veins too in the human body. But then
Oh,
how do
yeah.
you spell it? How you spell it? Well, here's the thing: is like
Yeah, that's the thing. It's mostly like an audible joke.
right because but in a comic format, you're going to be spelling the name out, so then it kind of gives it away, right?
Yeah. So it's basically a story that's over in like 2 pages.
I mean, Sean, were you here when we were talking about Voldendor versus Vaer?
No, what was that about?
Wouldn't that be a cool match somehow? Some kind of fight, battle match? Vaer versus Voldendor.
Okay.
Like pay-per-view. You'd buy, whatever it is. You hear the two names, you think, okay, I'll sign up.
But they play marbles, so.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, it was, when you were showing those character sketches, yeah, we get to see a whole bunch of your work at once. It's really cool how, and I mentioned this before, how even though it's very cartoony, so it deviates from real life. A lot of times when people go cartoony, the drawing also, I mean, the drawing like perspective and things like that also deviate from real life, and it gets really wonky. Like, when Snoopy is looking to the side, but he has both eyes facing forward still.
Mm-hmm.
But with yours, I think what's cool about it is that all of those like made up costumes and made up shoes, and they're still like really solidly constructed. It's that's one thing I really noticed, is that you don't let the cartooniness, you don't throw out all the rigorous structure and perspective.
Well, yeah, because part of this is these are like superhero comics, so I think there's only so much cartooniness you can get, right? Because on one hand, you have to maintain. I don't know. Where am I getting at?
Well, I mean, even with the shark characters, I mean, that's clearly really made up. But
Oh, yeah. So with the
yeah,
shark characters, I mean, you still have to make them look believable.
yeah, and you can like find a way to wrap like human clothes around him, like around the neck. I'm always impressed, like the layers and the collars and the V-necks and the different types of collars, and it all still, even in a three-quarters view, it still sits symmetrically.
But don't you, when you see somebody, when you see what they're wearing, you instantly kind of come up with your own backstory about who that person is? I mean, I
Oh
remember I
yeah,
used to
they say
playing
a
that
lot
game.
about
Yeah, I used to remember playing that game on the subway, where you just look at somebody and then you try to imagine their history, right? And then you try to imagine what were they doing before and then where are they going. Um, just based off of like how they're standing, what they're wearing, what their mannerisms are. Um, just to buy time while you're sitting on a subway. uh,
yeah, it's like people watching.
yeah, locked in a tin can with a bunch of strangers. So all that too then gets reabsorbed, um, and then comes back down when I'm drawing comics. I can then uh, have something to kind of resort to. I think I'm gonna make June's lips very small.
Oh, because yeah, she's kind of like an anime girl.
But just like smaller lips.
Well, I think you're talking about smaller mouth.
Smaller mouth. Yeah, sorry, smaller mouth. But her eyes I'm gonna make kind of wider. I don't know. There's something about wider eyes.
Just like the Queen's Gambit
Yeah.
woman, right? With a small mouth and wide eyes.
But even before that, it was something attractive about it.
Yeah, I think we were talking last week about eyes too close together or too far apart, and I think we determined that it's better to have them too far apart.
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody has their own tastes. So, but for me and you, I think the wider distance is a little bit more attractive than the closer distance. And actually, I like lower. Another attractive thing is like lower chins with narrower chins. Almost like a
Like a V shape? Like,
no, but like a lower chin. Not like a.
you mean, so it's a bigger chin then?
No, it's a smaller chin. What is the
Oh.
girl? Who was the actress that's the Spanish actress? She was very popular in the early 2000s. She played opposite Tom Cruise in a couple movies. Well, Anna de Armas, Penelope Cruz, yes. Penelope Cruz, but Anna de Armas is also very attractive. But Penelope Cruz has like a slightly lower. This actually looks a little like Anna de Armas, I think, subconsciously. I don't know. But her eyes are a little wide apart. Might be too wide. So how are we doing today? It's an hour, 30 minutes. Oh, okay, shoot. All right. You said we try to get this. I lost track of time. Anna is Cuban, yes. Rosie Perez, Matthew Crosser? No, but does Rosie Perez have a lower, smaller chin? Uh, just to think, there's a piece of dried bird poop on the other side of this paper. The birds haven't won anything in a while. This might be their day today.
Did they ever win?
They've won stuff, yeah, but they won.
So I'm just wondering, with all the stream regulars here, has everyone won something?
Yeah, has there been a stream regular, a sub, or stream regular that has not won anything?
I was wondering because I know like the wheel setting up can take a long time, but the great thing about it is it's not like the lottery where you can win over and over again, and some people never win. Like everyone is gonna win something because their pie gets larger and larger, and that's because the wheel is customized every time, just to be as fair as possible. So
Yeah, I'm exploring other options. We talked about it. We've been talking about it for a while. I mean, part of the limitations is that because I'm on a Mac, there's the ones that I want to play aren't available on a Mac. I'm hoping someday soon they will come out with a version that is available on the Mac. What do you think of this one? I'm okay. Eyes are a little far apart, but
it's great.
it's not a...
You ever do this thing like sometimes if you're not paying attention, like you usually draw the head first, and then if you start yapping your mouth or whatever, you end up drawing the body facing the same way as the head. If you're not paying attention. So, and in real life, your head and the body, that's the most boring orientation because it's just kind of everything's going the same way. So, yeah, that's the key is always get used to facing the body in some other way than the head, because then all of a sudden you start engaging body language. So you're doing your job as a storyteller.
That's a very good point. I always try to have some kind of like heads turned one way, the body's turned the other way, so there's always a little bit of a twist. Is that torque? Or is that twist?
Yeah, that's torque, yeah.
Torque. What's torsion? Is that similar? Torsion is similar?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so always have some kind of like torsion or twist. I mean, that's like Bart Sears. I remember when we were starting, Bart Sears had a lot of torque and torsion in his bodies are always like twisting. I mean, you can't see my body right now because I'm really screened out, but it's always like twisting. I'm like twisting. And when you're twisting, like your muscles contract, like your stomach, it's like you can't help but like, so.
Yeah, and so always draw them at different axes, but then also try to think about what it means when, like when someone is starting to move away from you, maybe they turn their body away, but then they turn their head back. So that's a little bit of storytelling. It has meaning, and for like if a female character, it could be kind of flirtatious. And not only that is your neck can swivel your head, but also your eyeballs move within your head itself. So even the head can be facing a different way, but the eyes can be looking right at you or looking at the viewer in the panel. So get used to making all of those things move, and then get used to knowing what those moves mean by just observing real life. And then just never do the thing where you're just facing forward. Then they're just like soldiers standing at attention. It's like very stiff and very boring.
Yeah, boring. Never be boring. Look at this. What do you think? She's like, oh, she's a little cross-eyed. It's cool. I like that. It's kind of sexy.
Exotic. Yeah.
It's kind of sexy. A little cross-eyed. I might not give this away.
Maybe give it away after you keep it for a little while.
I mean, if I give it to Steve, I know what he's going to do with it. He's going to hang it up. W redeemed stretch. Thank you, W, really. Make sure you hit that follow button, W. Really. Thank you for the stretch redeem. Although I was already doing the Bart Sears pose, I was already. Oof, that's a good workout. Life of Mamba. How do you avoid the monotony when you're learning the fundamentals of drawing? Sean, how do you avoid the monotony when you're...
The monotony meaning the monotonous drawing outcome, or just how boring it can be to just draw all the time. Like which monotony?
Yeah, which...
Well, anything you do over and over again, you're gonna get bored. Like, you know, you can get really hungry and really want to eat, but then after you eat, that's the last thing you want to do. And I guess what makes a great artist is drawing when you don't want to draw, and being able to draw well when you're just so over it. But the desire to draw is an overarching desire, and there's, you know, in the life cycle of every drawing, there's parts that are really fun, and then there's parts that are really boring, and there's parts that are not just boring but very difficult. And that's when it's very easy to procrastinate. And as busy as we are, there's things that you can do that doesn't feel like procrastinating, but it really is. I mean, you got to check your mail, and you got to, you know, go take the trash out, or whatever, and those are all distractions. So you got to ask yourself whether you really have to be doing those things. But they always say, like, breaking in is hard, but then staying in is even harder, because you have to fight the monotony of doing this same thing every day, sometimes for decades. So
Yeah, I think a lot of these questions are very generalized, right? So it's almost like I would like to ask Life of Mamba. How old are you? And what kind of art are you doing? Where are you at? Are you trying to break in? Are you a student in high school, college? Are you 30 years old? Oh, there's Steve. We woke Steve up.
hey, what happened to your drawing? You flipped it over?
I flipped it over because I'm trying to figure out the visor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
It's a
the
complex
visor,
thing.
yeah, because typically what is... let me pull up some reference for June.
Definitely the best visor is like the hawk one.
Oh,
But
yeah.
then, like, she has like a duck bill, which is really hard to do.
Yeah. Let me pull up a screen. Google Chrome June Gatchaman. Okay. All right. So I guess we can kind of see. Can we kind of see some of the variations of what people have drawn her?
You know, that's a good question about the workspace setup. Like, maybe on one of these streams, just snap a picture of your setup, and I'll snap a picture of mine, and then I'd love to see Jim Cheung's, and then we can just show them one day.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a mess.
Yeah, I'll be doing some cleaning up first.
I mean, I know where everything
Oh
is,
man,
but it's a mess.
Lee Yin Hyuk, he's so popular now.
This guy?
He's so good, yeah. He's sort of like the getting up there with Art Germ in terms of popularity.
Oh.
They're just about the same level. And he looks like a Korean soap opera star too.
Oh yeah? Or
Yeah,
K-pop guy?
yeah, I don't know, maybe like it's one of those more smoldering, sexy ones from the dramas.
You can't really see the visor on his drawing though.
Yeah, how does that visor work?
So I'm just using this for inspiration. This is from the cartoon. Yeah. So
You find that in cartoons or in comics a lot. Um, this stuff changes so much. I mean that it's not really consistent because it's not real. There's some angles where it just look ridiculous, so they fudge it a lot.
Yeah.
So I remember watching one of those Studio Ghibli movies. I think the one with the pig that flies the red airplane, and I wanted to make a model of that airplane. So I was working up some engineering drawings, and what I found out, it's different. The proportions are different in every scene,
Hmm.
and we just, they just make the stuff up, and then I mean, you don't really look too closely at it. But I'm sure this is one of those helmets that it looks different from every angle because it's so hard to keep it straight.
Yeah, but I mean, even for animation, they do build a lot of the stuff in 3D now. So,
Yeah, and that probably is good and bad. I mean, it helps you understand how complex things look in different perspectives, but then it might force you to draw something that it'd be cooler if you. Um, I mean, sometimes you have to fudge it to make it look
right.
better.
Yeah. So now I'm looking up swans, swan bill. Because this is, I mean, their visor is pretty much the beak of the bird, right? What if I were to put this ball thing right here?
A little juicy bit, whatever you call it. The
Yeah.
berry.
Don't you have like an uncle that has like a juicy berry that you want to just like?
I never heard of ever referred
But
to
it's
it
like,
as
I mean,
juicy.
it's like blood in there, right? It's not pus. It's like
Disgusting. And then if there's a hair growing out, they're not supposed to cut it, right?
blood. I have no idea. Really?
I think it's bad luck to cut it.
Oh.
That's why you go to a Chinese restaurant sometimes, and there's that one guy who has a berry, and he has like a 3 or 4 inch long hair coming out of it.
Yeah. Well, I know you're not supposed to pluck your eyebrows. I think we mentioned that before. Oh, this is a pretty,
I did not know that.
This is a pretty cool swan. I mean, all of this is like, why not look at nature? This is a tundra swan, the black beak, black bill. This guy right here. Okay.
It's weird how his beak goes into his eye.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just this one, the beak goes into his eye with the guy that's behind you. Shit. But this one is more like, I think that part is just like feathers. Oh, actually it does, yeah. And the nose is like, okay. It's always good to refer back to reference. Porco Rosso.
Yeah, that's the the pig that flies the airplane.
So I think I'm not gonna. Typically these were like kind of round-ish.
Yeah, I mean, how would you even draw that? Because if you have her facing forward, the most characteristic view of this helmet is from the side. So it's like as if you're drawing an alligator, and the angle you choose is head on. Like, it loses a lot of its alligatorness.
Yeah. I have her. How did I draw her? Let me figure out this design first, and then I can figure out the angle. So if I were to...
Oh yeah, she's turned a little bit to the side, so that'll help.
A little bit to the side. I don't think I want it to be a complete one-for-one of a swan, but
And does she have that antenna that comes out of the back?
she does. But I for this version, I've been making it part of the helmet, right? Like the antenna here. So. Sonic Go Zoom, thanks for the follow. Make sure if you guys are watching, you hit that follow button. We're at 800. If we get to 1,000 followers, I'm gonna have to tell my bowel movement story. So make sure you hit that follow button. It's very it's a very embarrassing
every
story.
Tuesday is a bowel movement story. Every Tuesday, though.
Wow. Yeah.
Is this the mother of all bowel movement stories?
I don't know. This was a pretty. It was a pretty funny one. I told you about it.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
It was pretty embarrassing. Work related, bowel movement story.
I'm sure everyone can relate.
Sean, have you ever had a bowel movement story? That was.
I think when I was younger. Yeah.
This was in my 20s.
Yeah, I remember that. We were working together.
Yeah, I can't divulge too many. We gotta get it. We gotta get 1,000 followers, and then, whoops, there it is. All right, these birds are. I think, yeah. Let me see. So if it's gonna be up here.
Very hard to draw. I mean, all the different from every angle. A lot of times, if you like bad design, I learned in industrial design, if you're designing a car, design it from the profile, and then when you make it, it has to be 3-dimensional. You don't really do much. You can tell when a car is designed from the side. But if you look at like a Lamborghini or something, it looks like it's designed in 3 dimensions. It's better. So this helmet here is it's an active design from every angle. So extremely complex.
Yeah, and the helmet itself, like, I'm thinking it's not just like a round helmet like this, but rather.
Yeah, it bulges at the cheeks.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit bulbous up here, and then somehow. I mean, when you're designing, a lot of times you're just kind of drawing what looks cool and then you move on. Right? I mean, we're not really product designing right here. We're just kind of designing to look cool for now. At some point, if this were to be a regular book that we're working on, a project, then we'd have to be maybe a little bit more conscious of the design itself and the functionality. Right? For now, we just want to make sure that it's something that kind of looks cool. I guess the question is, does the bill and the profile swoop up? Right? Does it do this kind of thing?
Whoever wins this drawing has a lot of extra stuff on the back.
Or does it swoop down? Like, swooping down is a much more aggressive.
Well, this drawing is never really going to get out of that one pose, so
I should
you
just
might
draw
as well make it
whatever
look
looks.
as good as possible. Yeah, so it looks like a swan, but then also looks cool from the angle. And then, if this were an actual, like if you're Alex Toth designing for animation, you'd have to think about everything.
Yeah.
For this,
Right.
it never really has to go beyond this one
Okay.
drawing.
So we just want it to look cool. All right.
It's very close to her head, the helmet part.
Yeah. She has a Derrick Henry head. Well, you know what else I can do? Since I'm on a light box.
Oh yeah.
So I'm on a light box. How are we doing on time?
Well, Blues Boy asked if a lot of artists draw on the back to figure stuff. I think rarely. I think mostly they use tracing paper, or they use other pieces of paper, or other piece of paper on top of a light box. But
Yeah, or they use
I
blue
think that's
pencil.
one thing. Yeah, this is something that we kind of do, and like few artists do. And I don't know why they don't do it more often, but you draw on the back side.
And a lot of people have light boxes. So it's not like light box is a rare thing. It just catches me every time, like people are like, "Oh, I never thought about that." I'm like, "Well, that's because you're not friends with Sean Chen."
Well, it all came about because I'm looking for every single advantage. I mean, I think the deep is I'm just an average artist, but using methodology, I can find a way to get a good finished result by using every single trick in a book and inventing a lot of ways to draw better. So, all of those ways we'll teach you in this chat. But drawing on the backside not only allows you to try out things that you put on the front that you can, trace over on the other side, but also you see your drawing in mirror image so that it becomes more accurate.
Yes.
So, it's doing several things at once. And also the light coming from the light box will cancel out your shadow, because a lot of times when you draw, your hand is casting a shadow, and you can kind of see it. You're drawing about like 80%, but you put the light box on, and then you can see everything. So it does a lot of things, and it'll make any artist about maybe 10 to 20% better as soon as you start doing it. But no one's doing it. So
Did you hear that, Mamba? I hope Mamba heard that. What do you think of this lip here? That it kind of goes up.
the lip.
On the visor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I always thought it would be kind of like rounded over, like a bull nose rounded over.
Yeah.
Like it has a radius, but so that's kind of like sharp, like a blade.
Yeah. All right, I think I'm gonna go with that.
Cool. So her weapon is the ninja yo-yo, which kind of, when I was drawing it, it's kind of a really cool design. It's got like a point, and it has like I don't know, it's like it's a spinning disc, but then it has like a three legs coming off of it that surround it, so it spins within that harness, and it's attached to a rope.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get into if I'm gonna draw the.
Yeah, I mean you're drawing just the head.
Yeah.
But, so what is your plan with all of these? Eventually you're gonna put them together, right?
This one probably make a print. Yeah, probably collect it together.
But each one of them has a crazy scribbly background, though.
Yeah, I mean Photoshop. I just clean it up, take it out in
You
Photoshop.
have to remove it. Okay,
Yeah.
remove the background. Okay.
Yeah. I mean that's pretty easy. That's what I did with the other initial set that I did last 2019. Is I had to clean up some of the figures to make them work.
I'm kind of interested to know. There's a complete 180 in the fact that you used to draw a longer noses,
Mm-hmm.
and then at some point you must have just said like, "Oh, I'm just fed up with that," and then you start drawing. I mean, 180. I mean, they're actually on the shorter side now, but what was it that like was it an overnight thing, or was it like a gradual? It got shorter and shorter. Like what tipped it off?
I think, again, some of like we talked about in the past, where there's aspects of your work that you maybe don't really see real time, right? This happens a lot when you're starting out, like deficiencies in your work that you can't really pinpoint.
Yeah, that's the scariest thing.
And
Because you're drawing poorly, but you have no idea.
Right.
And that kind of uncertainty is a bad feeling. That you're not in control of that.
and you might
So-
you might think you're doing great, but you
Yeah.
can't see it.
Yeah, it's the Dunning-Kruger effect, basically.
So, I think at one point, like I was just drawing stylistically that way, and Like, I don't have a very long nose, right? I mean, a lot of artists draw features that are um, that they actually have in real life. So, um,
Yeah, sometimes like similar body types they would draw.
and I think at the time, I mean, I started out drawing Wonder Woman. So her being an Amazonian, I wanted to give her a little bit more of a Mediterranean feel. Um, and a much sharper, pronounced nose.
Sometimes they would even have like the hook going on.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of how it started. But also, I don't know, just interested in noses. The first thing you see a lot of times. And then after a while, I think after like a year or two, I started noticing like I wasn't very happy with the faces that I was drawing. And, you know, every now and then I would see like, oh, the nose is kind of long. I think you made a couple of comments about noses. And at first I'm like, what are you talking about? Nose is perfect.
Well, you used to do like the it's a combination of the long nose and then like the shorter sloped forehead, which there's a whole range of different types of beauty, and that is within the, one of the kinds. So I think that was kind of your type. It was like very much like a Pocahontas look.
Yeah. I mean, Pocahontas, uh, I think had an influence. It wasn't like I didn't have reference of Pocahontas while I was drawing her. But I was going for a very ethnic feel. And then it was creeping into all the other pieces that I was drawing. So even like I drew a Jimmy Olsen book, and that was like, he had long noses. So after a while, like I just started noticing it. And then I just started making a conscious decision to make shorter noses. And I think also like shorter noses have a more youthful appearance than longer noses. Longer noses tend to be a little bit more older. So, yeah, and it's evolution, right? As an artist, you're always growing. Style's always changing for the better, hopefully. I don't know. What do you think, Sean? What do you ever
Well,
have
also
any of that
maybe
stuff?
like certain beauty standards change in society. Also, that could be some things. But I mean, of all the facial features, I think a lot of people make a big deal about eyes. And secondly, they would say the other thing is the mouth. But really, the nose is probably the most important thing. It anchors the face. And not just when we're talking about facial features, not just when you say nose, that it's just a nose. It's really the space between the nose and the mouth and the space between the eyes. So these things don't have names. Like the space, well, there is a name between the nose and mouth called a philtrum. And that distance right there is not something that, since we don't name it, we don't really notice it. But it makes a huge difference in how you draw.
This
So
distance right here, right?
yeah, the between the nose and mouth, the older
Super
you get, the
Maximus Lipius
philtrum, right?
Filtrum.
So yeah, I mean, um, I think you definitely had a type that you drew, and it was always still like very beautiful, very exact in the way you drew it. But I was just wondering, like, and then this is also nice too because it's like a pixie, like it's a pixie style where the nose is sharper, smaller, and shorter. So it's also good. So
Yeah. And I think this is reflective of like in real life what I find or what I might find as physically attractive. And tastes change. Um,
You ever see Leo DiCaprio? How short his nose is. Like, he can never really be a tough leading man because he has a very short nose.
really? Leo has a short nose? He's a leading man.
Well, I mean, he is, but it seems like it's, he's a leading man in spite of his short nose.
Hmm. Okay. I can see where you're getting at. Yeah, look at this. This nose is kind of short here. Let me see that.
And his face is getting wider and wider, and then the nose is.
Well, that's just when you get older, your face is getting wider and wider. I mean, my face is much wider than I was when I was younger. I think there's somehow like medical science needs to like take whatever genes or DNA that's in your head, because your head continues to grow even if you get older, right? Is it that your head is growing or your body is shrinking, or a combination of the both?
Oh, the head continues to get wide.
Yeah.
Like you see a lot of old people, they get the bulbous nose and the big ears.
Yeah, the ears continue to grow, right? When you get older.
And your head cranks out like.
I remember Steve Mazarski, our old publisher. His head was huge. He had a huge head, and I remember like R.I.P. Steve.
When you look at Alec Baldwin when he was young and what he looks like now.
Yeah,
they're both good looking, but you can't even see them as the same people.
I remember walking behind Steve once, and we had just gotten the Valiant hats, and you know the snapback hats?
Yeah, the adjustable snap.
Yeah, and his hat was like this. It was on the very last buttonhole. There was only one connecting it. And it was so wide that it was at an angle. The snapback was at an angle.
And then, of course, he wears his like suit with that hat.
Oh yeah, he had a suit on, but I just remember as I was walking behind him, I was like, "Wow, that hat is holding on for dear life." Because if you were to, that was the last notch.
So the person who wins this has this drawing on the back too.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I've noticed that my head is increased in size. When I get like fitted baseball caps, I gotta go half a size, go a quarter of a size up now.
Yeah, it happens.
And that's not an ego thing. That's just a physical size thing.
Back to the drawing.
I gotta pee.
Yeah, these differences in the facial features, and because we're human beings and we communicate so much by looking at people's faces, we almost have like, you know how we have 20/20 vision. Like when it comes to looking at another person's face, the vision becomes like crazy sharp. So that millimeters or like 1/16 of an inch difference makes a huge difference in how that person looks. So when you draw, you gotta draw it really accurately. Everything has to be exactly where it's supposed to be. But if you go to another body part, like say like from the knees down to the feet, that's called the popliteal height. You can be off by 3 inches, and no one will notice. And they'll notice like when you stand in front of them that they're taller, but you can add 3 inches to some guy's popliteal height, and it's no big deal. But you add like a 1/16 of an inch distance between their nose and their mouth, and you're like, who is this guy? You know,
Who is this animal?
yeah, I don't know this guy.
That's very interesting. That's a very
Yeah, and
interesting.
also, you know how like most animals don't have the whites of the eyes, so human beings have whites in the eye, and that's because before we communicated by speech, we do a lot of nonverbal communication with the eyes. so that the whites on both sides, the way it shifts around when you look left and right, um, you're able to tell millimeter differences in the amount of white on the one side of the eyeball to the other side to know exactly where the person's looking. So if the guy is standing in front of you, like maybe 3 feet in front of you, you can tell whether he's looking in your eyes or looking at your ear, or whether he's looking at your face or looking at something 50 feet behind you. And all that you can tell just by looking at the eyeball and where the spectral highlight is and the whites on both sides, which is crazy because how can you read any of that? But then when you look at the back of the hand, everyone's back of the hand looks the same. So
Did you learn this at Carnegie Mellon, or did you learn this?
I learned it. I don't know. Watch a lot of PBS or something.
Have you instilled this knowledge onto your kids?
I don't care. They learn everything from YouTube.
Oh, is that a good or bad thing?
Well, it's not a reliable news source, which is why we had all that problem at the Capitol. People kind of are very selective about what news they take in.
Life. Who would have thunk? All right, let's darken this.
So they all have that symbol, right? That kind of bird arrow.
Yeah, the Gatchaman symbol. Yeah. This is almost like that Wonder Woman pose I had before. What were you gonna say?
There's always some sort of magic that happens when you bring out the dark pencil.
Well, it's actually the same pencil. I just pushed down now. Right now it's very light.
Yeah. The line weights and the shading does a lot. Does a lot to it. Because like it can be very simplistic. So I know with my art, it doesn't really start to shine unless I get a level of detail in there, like a Travis Charest. But you can take a simplified drawing and really make it sing.
You're too kind. Nobody else has any questions today? They're a very quiet crowd.
Yeah, I mean, you're here to learn. You got two veterans, Marvel veteran, DC veteran. You got Jim Cheung, who's lurking, who will pop in and
Jim
start
Cheung
imitating
too.
him. Yeah. And then the usual, I mean, we'll have a surprise guest who can be a fourth person, so.
Wow, today is just back to a solo stream. We gotta like turn the volume up, turn the volume down. Every now and then. Alright, I can't figure this out here, this shoulder. This is becoming more a...
What is the ABC fan art sketch?
Long's been doing that, I guess one sketch per letter of the alphabet.
Oh, so whose idea is that?
Yeah, Long's cheating on us.
Oh, yeah. that's like a Dave Finch thing or something? ABC fan art was, didn't Sean Gordon Murphy do something like that?
He did?
Or maybe it was just Wolverine alphabet. That he got in trouble for.
Oh, what happened? Why did he get in trouble for that?
Maybe because it was so good that it started to compete with Marvel's actual work.
But he didn't have... Oh, alright.
I don't know exactly what happened with it. There was some controversy, but apparently, if you do something that's so good and there's a buzz around it, then it gets Marvel's attention.
Did he make a print out of it or something, or is that
Yeah,
the?
I think
Oh,
that's
okay.
yeah. Print. And then, I don't think they care if you try to sell prints at a con and you end up selling like 10. But then if something gets so popular in it, and then they start to number in the thousands,
Yeah.
um, then yeah, I don't know. I don't know how fair use fits in there.
All right. See, this is another example of using the back of the board to figure out the anatomy issue that I was having with her figure.
So did you have to erase away all like the Steve Masarsky cap thing?
I don't know. I think it's still there. Yeah, it's still there. It's actually much lighter in person. I've bumped up the contrast on the screen so it picks up the pencils a little bit more.
So that alphabet thing is a pretty good gimmick, I think.
Yeah, Long, who started the alphabet thing? Did he say?
Yeah, some guy named Noah Eisman.
Oh. And is everybody doing the same letter each week, or you just kind of go and do it whenever?
It'd be kind of weird if everyone did the same letter, because you'll have a lot of the same characters popping up.
All right. All right, I gotta stop. I can revise this all day.
So this guy named Renspade wants someone to draw Soup from Call of Duty. There's a guy named not Soup, Soap. There's a guy named Soap.
Uh-huh. Do you play Call of Duty?
I don't, but I mean, is that his last name?
I don't know. Rents paid. Is that what other people do? Is they just
I gotta see this Soap guy.
Yeah, let's look up. You want to look up Soap?
But these are fictional characters, so you can name whatever you want. But the guy thought that Soap would be a good name.
Maybe it wasn't trademark. This is Soap. A guy with a mohawk, basically. Can you see Soap?
Oh yeah.
Sure. All right. Let me just erase this. Let me just erase this, and then we'll draw Soap. Her shoulders seem kind of small, don't you think?
A little bit. I mean, I think a lot of times when the shoulders turn out very small on my characters, like it's because when I originally sketch in the character, the body's turned kind of like profile. But then if I kind of lose my way and kind of straighten out the body more toward the camera, the shoulders are just closer together when you're seeing it at view.
Okay. All right. Let's stop fucking with the body. Just finish the head. Let's get out of here. We vowed to end earlier tonight. for our friends on the East Coast. And I gotta get back to work. I've been sleeping maybe like 5 hours a day.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do this thing where your sleep is kind of variable. Um, I've witnessed you sleeping 16 hours once, and then sometimes often staying up all night, a couple days in a row.
Yeah. Last week I had to finish a cover, and then this week I got like a 5-page thing I gotta finish.
Is this all top secret?
Yes, yeah. It's this week is a Marvel thing.
Ooh, you're jumping back and forth.
Yeah.
You got it like that.
But it's tough, like the new characters, so you gotta get used to new characters. This one's with our buddy Al. Remember Al?
Al. Oh. Al.
Yeah, Al Ewing. Yeah.
Ewing?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a great guy. The cool thing about Al Ewing is that he's like a big A-list writer, but very down to earth. Like he doesn't throw his weight around, you know? It's
Yeah.
very cool.
We spent like a week with him in Spain, right?
Yeah, and he can be kind of a nervous guy. He's very funny. Oh yeah, I posted my drawing on Discord.
Oh,
Midnight.
it's midnight or 9 o'clock midnight. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right. I'm almost done.
So do you notice the difference between working at Marvel or DC? There's a lot of talk about the differences there now.
Slightly.
I know that, well, in both places, the editors seem very overworked.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's like a corporate mandate how they work. I think some of it is just different people work in different ways. So, I mean, there's a lot of people at Marvel that used to be at DC, and vice versa. So, I don't know if I notice a what would you say, like a
Well, are you dealing with the main editor or mostly their assistants?
both. And then this one, like, Al's had like some input in a lot of it.
Oh, that's good.
And mostly because it's the first time working with Al too, so I want to make sure that we're on the same page. I sometimes
It's always tough.
Yeah.
When you fill in or do little short stints,
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a while, like half a year to really get to know the character and get into a groove with it. But jumping on little short stints of different characters, it's like a onboarding process that's kind of a pain. And then if that's all you do, like that's all I do for a while, it's just like little bits here and there. It's just onboarding every month, and it's a slow, arduous process.
Yeah, I think that's what I was talking when you're talking about earlier with like what Brett Booth or Peach Momoko were talking about. I mean, I find like when you're doing shorter stints on something, you don't have a lot of time to build up traction on a character or on the
Yeah,
characters.
it's not good. In general, it's not a good idea. But
Look at this. All right.
before I forget, tomorrow is New Comic Wednesday, so the Chris Claremont anniversary issue comes out.
Oh,
Anniversary special.
nice.
So I posted one pencil page on the Discord. So I have 8 pages in there. So I share the stage with Bill Sienkiewicz and Brett Booth.
Wow.
I think they're picking a lot of Chris Claremont artists that he's collaborated in the past with to do this thing. So we each get different chapters. So I think Sienkiewicz's part is first, then there's mine. So it's Danny Moonstar is sort of like the linchpin between all the stories, and there's this big threat, and she has to kind of it's a Shadow King, basically. And she has to go through each time stream or time frame, and then in my character, it has like different eras of the Fantastic Four all together. It's very trippy, only out of the mind of Chris Claremont. So my first collab with him was a couple decades ago with X-Men: The End. So that was the 18-issue maxi series. So my first Marvel work in a long time. So
It seemed just like last week you were on here talking about that. You just got this gig.
yeah, but it was more than last week because I know it took me a week to draw it.
How long ago was it?
I think I started in October.
Wow. Has it been that long?
Or maybe November. Yeah.
Wow. Because that was after you turned in the Batman Beyond issue, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting a little smudging. There's a little bit of smudging on the piece, but just from my hand rubbing on the paper and the softness of the lead. But I'm not worried about it right now because I'll go back in and erase it, and then it'll help create some texture and
Yeah. So you'll use it. So
yeah.
That's great.
But I would never purposely smudge it with my finger. That's a big no-no.
But what about the blending stump, which is like, I remember that in art school people use the blending stump.
Nope, never do that. That's a hack. It's only for hacks.
Well, I mean, there's some artists that I guess they use it to good effect.
I mean, if you want to blend, use your pencil.
Yeah, I think the reason why people like the blending stump and then smudging in general is because when they see a gray tone, like in real life, a gray tone is just a gradation from some percentage of gray to another percentage of gray. It's like an airbrush. So the tool that you choose, that we're choosing, is the tool that's not meant for that. So I ink everything I do. Like you're drawing with pencil, I ink. So I'm going to try to represent a subtle gradation of gray using a black pen, which does not make gray. It's binary. So you can represent gray by putting lines close together, and that's like a 50% gray. You do cross hatching, then you get like a 70% gray. Changing the spacing between the hatching and also the thickness of the hatching line. It's a big pain in the ass. Or use Zipatone, because it's just natural that you use an airbrush or smudge to make gray. But surprisingly, if you do that, the intuitive way to make gray, it usually looks bad. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is, but
When you're purposely trying to make gray?
well, if you're making gray using an airbrush or shading with a pencil. I mean, with a pencil, it's not that bad, but if you smudge, you're getting a gray that's smoother than you can with a pencil. Because a pencil, you can still see lines, but then a smudging is like a true smooth gray, but it looks like crap though, usually in a finished drawing.
And also, the other rule of thumb, never do pixelate.
Like the
Well,
dots.
pointillism, yeah.
Yeah, that's also one step easier to make a gray than using lines, because it's almost like pixels. So,
If you're in school,
but again, it looks bad. So.
yeah, if you're in school and your teacher, usually like in junior high or high school, the art teacher will have some kind of pointillism assignment. Uh,
Yeah, that's our hack art teachers.
yeah, yeah. Never do that.
Or sometimes there's like an art assignment where you have to take half of a photograph and then glue it on a piece of paper and you draw the other half of the picture.
I mean, I think. Are you kind of? Would you consider yourself kind of snobby in terms of art, Sean? Based
Well,
off of your education? Yeah.
I know just from thinking backwards and being educated and all, I'm extremely classically educated. Like I probably have more schooling than most anyone I come across.
Well, Sean's brothers, his whole family are doctors, so you're the dark horse.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got the
And
same level of education as all your brothers and sisters and parents, right?
yeah, I mean, in terms of like financially, I cost the same, but I just applied it all towards art. So looking back, I know what exercises, what the point of every exercise is, and what's a good exercise and what is just bad. And yeah, like the smudging, that pointillism, and then the photorealistic stuff is not the best things to spend your time doing. And also like imitating styles of the past, like fauvism or cubism. Like we're gonna make it work like Picasso. I mean, there's really no point in doing that. I mean, maybe just as an exercise to experience something, but
I think as an exercise, there's some merit to it, in a sense that you're exposing the young artist to a new style that they might not have even thought about. I know in art college, they'll give courses like a master class where you have to produce a piece that's like Michelangelo or Da Vinci.
yeah, I think to kind of step in their shoes to understand them, I think that's useful.
Yeah.
But imagine if you were an architect and someone wanted you to make the Taj Mahal, and no different from the Taj Mahal. It's like, well, that style was a product of its time, and they evolved to that point, and that architect's life experience led him to make that, and then you don't get the same benefit. I mean, you're basically just copying what he came up with. So
Very valid points. Anybody here going to art school besides Carson McKinney? Carson goes to SVA.
right. So the main difference between SVA and the other schools is basically how you wear your sleeves, right?
Oh, you gotta wear tank tops when you draw if you go to SVA. If you go to Crease Art, go John Paul Leon, they all wear tank tops. And Jerry's always in a tank top. All right. Anything else I need to do to this? This one's a fairly simple sketch today.
It's nice though, but yeah, when you do the finish lines, like I don't think like something so simple that you can make that look like it's something to look at because it's very simple. But then when you're done with the lines and the shading, it really comes to life. You put the spectral highlight on her visor.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that next. Do you have any techniques when you're doing the highlights for glass?
Yeah, it's so hard for that, the compound curve. But I think we talked about it before, but the spectral highlight is simply a reflection of the light, of the light source. And I have this theory that if that thing were not glass, if it were made out of wood or something, or if it was just gray and kind of dull, that the light would just diffuse over the surface in a gradation, but then with the glass, it reflects the same amount of light. it's the same amount, except it's all pushed together in a sharper line rather than spread out.
Hmm. Well, Sean, you drew Iron Man for like how many years? 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, that's another thing. Like when you're drawing Iron Man, people look at it and they don't think it's any much more different than drawing, another character. But what they don't realize is that you're responsible for putting the shine in. So you're drawing like a cylinder for the arm, but then you have to put in the spectral highlight and everything that's reflecting around it, and kind of come up with a stylized way of putting shine on it. So it's not a matter of just drawing two lines that represent the contour of the arm. You have to get in there and start putting the highlight and the shadow and reflect like crap, and every body part. And every time he shows up, and sometimes he ends up being like 4 or 5 times on every page. And I think most people think that I would just draw the outline, and then either the colorist or the colorist will say that this is shiny, and then all those reflections and the highlights would appear. It's like, no, you gotta
That's all
figure it
you.
out.
Yeah, that's all you. That's
Yeah.
all the penciler. Did you ever?
Yeah, and then it's tough. And then so imagine like 3 years of that. It can drive you mad.
Did you ever have a base, like a standard? What do you call it? Shadowing for the for the armor.
Yeah, I mean there's these tropes that you use over again, but I mean if it's so shiny, it reflects everything around it. So sometimes you see when people draw reflective things, they'll have like the sky and the desert reflected in there. So you have like the blue up above and the sand color down below. So we don't really figure it out. Like there's no algorithm to figure all that out. So we kind of do this kind of like a tweaking of it, kind of a stylization of it. And the good thing is it can be very forgiving because when there's that many facets in lighting in real life, all those facets, they don't really follow that much of a light source. As long as you're just changing, putting a lot of contrast, like going like dark and light and dark and light, doesn't matter. I notice like when I'm using reference from the movie, like the top of like Iron Man's head, that red dome. Sometimes when in comics you'll put the shadow and bring it in from the edge a little bit so that it does like a little highlight, and that's kind of says shiny. But then a lot of times you put the black against the edge, and there's no rhyme or reason as to how it what when you're supposed to use what. So just anything goes as long as you activate the surface with lots of things. And I try to put like I use Olivier Coipel because he draws Thor in that shiny armor, and he also has that same kind of helmet. It's like a way he does that, all that stuff in his helmet. It's kind of really cool looking. So copy that a lot. But yeah, it's very forgiving. If you ever draw like a diamond, like you see a picture of a diamond, you would think that the facet that's facing the light gets the highlight, and the facet that's away from light gets the shadow. But really, it's just black triangles and white triangles anywhere.
I think I'm getting too rendery on her boobs. I was just intending to put a little.
Well, her outfit is white, right? Like a white swan.
It's pink. Like her this top
Oh,
is
okay.
pink. But I wasn't intending on making her boobs this big. I might have to erase. All right. I'm actually drawing very slow today because I'm actually very tired already.
Get back. Why do you have to get back? So
Is a get back from for R and Ingrid or the other girls on stream? Where's Courtney today? She didn't show up.
I guess not.
Is she on stream? But just lurking? I think the directional pencil was also the pencil strokes.
Yeah, that's always tough. I mean, if you're kind of just beginning with cross hatching or hatching, which direction do you make those lines go? Yeah.
I think they're either
And
directional or they're in the shape of.
yeah, like if you see on the dollar bill how they do George Washington's face by like drawing lines that reinforce the contour.
Yeah.
And that's very hard to do. Sometimes it's cool just to. Well, if you look at Sergio Topi, there's a lot of gray tones going on, but it's just whatever you put in there, like curlicues, spirals, triangles, rectangles. Doesn't really matter as long as the value's there. You can make it go anywhere. So I think it's a good lesson to conform. It doesn't really matter which direction the lines go, because it represents the level of gray and the gradation you're looking for.
You know what's happening right now is that Al Ewing project I'm drawing digitally. So I keep in my head, I'm like, oh, I want to erase this. I'm like, want to double tap to erase or Command Z.
The Phantom Command Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, switching back and forth from digital to traditional. Someone redeemed the hydrate for you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Way High's here.
I can't drink too much more because I gotta pee.
Yeah, that's very glassy how like that one line disappears because the highlight goes over it. That's a big part of the effect of transparency.
Talking about this line here on the visor by the face.
Yeah, but the top of her helmet, the thickness part, the line disappears because it's obscured by a light glare. So this one, you actually shaded the visor.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying not to like do too much rendering on her. You try not to. I think the adage is to not do too much rendering on a female.
Right, that's scary. You're like erasing facial features. Yeah, that really makes the illusion of reflectiveness.
It's too much rendering on a female face can make them look older than they are. It would be cool if I came up with some kind of thing in the reflection, right? But you gotta think about that. What would be?
I once did one of my barf bag art with Darth Vader.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of, reflective highlights, and there is a shape which is a rectangular light shape with a certain shape inside that it's basically a man walking through a doorway. So.
Yeah, what should I do here? Should I make it something?
That's cool because, this drawing is very simple, but you can always make it different by just kind of putting a crazy amount of reflections in the glass.
I think there's going to be some lighting coming from this side.
And maybe because right now you have two things going on. You have the 100% white and the 50% gray.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose you can even go down to like the 100% black as,
Even
a
darker.
corollary. Yeah, darker, like, like rectangle shapes that are just darker, or stripes.
Well, I could, again, I mean, go back in with the background. I've been doing that. If I hit this part here, this is a very delicate part right here.
Oh, Jerry's here.
What?
Yeah, you stayed here so long that Jerry came back from his hot date. I'm not a hot date, whatever.
I think Jerry went out to dinner.
Yeah.
Does Jerry want to jump on chat?
Oh, he's there with Brian Yang.
Brian Yang. Yang Gang. What did you
Jerry,
guys?
come on and say hi.
Where did they go to? Where did they go eat? That's what I want to know.
Whole Foods. Probably Whole.
Jerry's got a new shirt out. The Xie shirt, which means thank you. Did you see that? It's pretty cool. It's like the the bags.
Oh, of course, Jerry was at Blue Ribbon Sushi.
Blue Ribbon Sushi.
Yeah, he has his own table there.
If it's not Whole Foods, it's Blue Ribbon Sushi.
I mean, Blue Ribbon Sushi is the best. So.
Sean, I might come out to New York in March.
Hey, all right.
What are the parameters for travel?
I don't know. Well, I mean, they might be clamping down because I know everyone kind of knows that California is having a bit of a harder time.
Yeah.
So there might be some, like you might have to pass the test and then you may have to isolate for a while. So that you waste a lot of time, just especially if a hotel room or something like that. You're just like sitting around by yourself before they can come out.
I can't quarantine at your house.
Legally, you can't.
Really?
I don't think so.
I thought you can quarantine at somebody's home.
Well, maybe. Yeah. If you don't care about them.
I think for American Airlines you have to. If anybody knows, type in the chat. I think for American Airlines you have to have a negative test 3 days before you fly.
Jerry's asking a question about whether he can come on.
Yeah, Jerry, come on. Why can't you come on?
I mean, without headphones.
Oh,
he's drunk.
That's even better. Yeah, I mean, just well, I don't know how he's not going to hear us.
So is there a delay where you can censor him?
No, not the audio portion. Jerry should come on. Is Brian drunk too? Oh, Brian could be another actor. Brian was on Hawaii Five-0. Brian Yang.
Oh, okay.
He played the doctor. He played the forensics doctor on Hawaii Five-0. Maybe Brian wants to be part of the
the dramatic reading.
Dramatic reading. Can Brian do female parts? I don't have an avatar for Brian, but can Brian do a British accent? Jerry, have Brian come on to do a British accent. He can be Jim. He needs the
Charlie Fong.
He needs the Charlie Fong. That's right. He needs to flex his acting. I once did a practice read with Brian at a hotel, or reading, like a side, like an audition, record an audition for him, and he got so into the role that he kicked a hole in the wall in the hotel room.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's intense. Oh, he's here.
Sean, can you hear me?
I can hear. Yeah, I can hear you.
All
Hey,
In
right.
the chat.
Brian, say something.
He's here.
Hello, mate.
Okay, hold on a sec. Hold on. Look. All right.
I hear a tribble.
Well, that's because I have the player select screen up.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's good to see you guys again.
All right. Let me turn down the volume on that one.
Sorry, guys. Hey, I'm really sorry for the volume, guys.
It's all
I'm
right.
here with my friend Brian Yang.
Brian Yang in the house. Woo! Charlie
He was
Fong.
an actor on Hawaii Five-0. He's a movie producer as well. He's done movies like Jeremy Lin's Insanity, Chen Wang's Late Life. He's done things like with Stefan Marbury, like very sports oriented. I think you guys might be excited to meet him. Brian, say what's up, dude.
What's up, dude?
What's up,
Very
Brian?
drunk. Awesome.
This is my first time on this platform, and seeing Bernard's head moving around is quite interesting.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. We are drinking heavily tonight. We just both tested negative for COVID yesterday, so
Wow.
we cannot help. but
That's a reason to drink.
but
Yeah.
100% positive for Hakushu. I mean, there's so much Kavalan in your blood that
It killed the virus.
Yeah.
I just want to say, does anyone realize that they're watching Pratt Institute's like top point guard right now?
that's right.
Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
They know. They know.
They know.
This man who's drawing right now is like one of the all-time greatest basketball players in Pratt Institute's history. Don't let that smooth head fool you. This man is like multi-dimensional.
Oh shit! Is Jim Chung coming on?
Well, no, that's Brian's role.
I'm gonna give Jim Chung a call. I'm not gonna text him, guys. I'm gonna call him.
Oh yeah, he's drunk dialing now.
Yes,
Oh boy.
I'm drunk dialing.
From London.
Yeah, he's from the UK.
I love you.
Jim's from the UK.
Hey, what are we drinking?
He's from the UK.
Hello, mate.
We're drinking Oban. We're drinking Oban 14 year, boys. Look, we don't have any women on board right now, so we can talk openly. Voranda, I miss you. Jim Chung, what's going on, dude? We are. I don't know if you're on the stream right now, but we kind of would like to hear you, man. Oh, you can hear me, so that means you're lurking. God damn it! Come on, dude.
He's always lurking.
Can you just jump on board for like 5 minutes, please?
Yeah, let's pack this room full of Asians.
Dude, you have the most sissy fucking laugh. Come on, man.
There we
Jim
go.
Chung.
We got Jim's body up.
All right. Well, we will be eagerly awaiting your presence. Haba. All right, Jimmy Chung. Talk to you soon, man. I love you.
So what'd you guys eat
Jim
at?
Chung is lurking. He's lurking and he's listening.
What did you
He's
guys?
just scared to jump on.
What did you guys eat at Blue Ribbon?
Right now. Puberty's tough, even on the British Chinese people. You know,
What kind?
it's a rough place to be in life.
What kind of test? What kind of coronavirus test did you guys take?
The easiest, most simple one, the rapid test.
You didn't,
So rapid, 4 hours.
Brian. Jerry didn't give you the finger up the rear test. That's the coronavirus.
Oh, he always does that. He always.
戳屁股的看有没有生病。
Wait, how many people understand that on this platform?
Well, this is forever too. Just to remind you, we upload this later. We upload this later to YouTube, and it's forever.
Oh my gosh. Alright, I'm gonna just shut up now.
Well, guys, you know, this is probably not the best representation of my friend Brian, but I will say, it is, you know, what makes me, when I see my boy Brian, this is the first time I've seen him in like 16 or 18 months. It's really good to see like a good friend again. And I will say, shockingly, the last like I don't know, 14 months I've been on the stream with you guys. It is genuinely good to see you guys every week here. And it is like seeing a good friend. So I don't know, man. I appreciate everyone.
Wow, he's really drunk.
Yeah, I am pretty drunk, but I am saying I do appreciate
I love you, man.
like, you guys make fun of me. You guys can make fun of me, but it is the truth, you know? Like, this actually
Sean's
you can ask Bernard's cousin because she's
character is hilarious.
when I wasn't streaming with you guys for whatever that was, like a month, she knew I was more grumpy than usual. And
Oh,
she
wow.
realized when I got back on the stream that I was a little bit happier. And then she realized, unfortunately for me, when Brian was staying with me, when he's quarantining with me, that I actually was a little bit happier. So I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's great to see everyone. I mean that with all sincerity. And I don't know. We don't take you guys for granted. We love you guys, man. And it's awesome.
Well,
You can make fun of me tomorrow. Make fun of me tomorrow when I'm sober, okay?
Bernard's planning a trip.
But for now, you love me, goddammit!
Okay, so that's how it works. That you get tested, then you can hang out together.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Are you wearing a tank top right now?
Actually, I have a T-shirt on. That's the truth. And I just want Jim Cheung to be making some food because I know he's either cooking or he's drawing. So he better be fucking cooking. Goddammit.
I like Drunk Jerry too. I like Drunk Jerry. Matthew, I'm with you. A hug for you, Jerry.
Yo, Matthew Crossart is awesome. Is that who you're talking about? That likes Drunk Jerry?
Yeah.
Brian,
I just said Matthew Crossart because I know Matthew Crossart. And you see, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey, they know that you're always happy when you get on FaceTime.
Brian,
These people know you really
Yo,
well.
these guys are the shit, man. I
They
love
know,
these
they
guys.
know you well.
can you tell what Jerry's avatar is saying, Brian?
Well,
What do you think? It says,
Brian is very drunk and he is not very coherent.
Oh.
You guys gotta remember, he's also a model.
no.
Brian,
Hey, Bernard,
make sure you
Bernard,
make sure you throw up in Jerry's sink.
I'm going to. What's top pigu?
Bernard.
Twa. Ta is wipe.
What's top pigu?
No. Ta is wipe. Twa is poke.
Well, I think his avatar is saying, what's top pigu?
Oh, okay.
Bernard, you have to redeem a reward.
What's swap people? I don't know which one. Whatever it is, you're doing something with the people.
Of course.
The Pigu!
careful, you're gonna write your character out. Not careful.
That's the next shirt, man. Pigu. Twa Pigu.
Bernard, you gotta redeem the Snarf reward.
Oh, does Brian know about Snarf?
Do you know who Snarf? Do you remember?
I'll bet Brian is too young to know what Snarf is.
No, I'm not too young, but
Brian is older than all of us. Goddamn.
I know what Thundercats is. I don't know what Snarf is. What's Snarf?
Where's the Snarf head? I've had to reload everything today. All that other stuff got lost.
You don't need the head, right? You can do it.
Yes, he is.
Hey guys, I also don't want to interrupt this shit because I know you guys are doing well right now.
There we go. Snarf. We have Brian Yang in the house. Snarf.
That's Bernard.
Pratt.
What's up, Brian? Brian went to Cal Berkeley, but yet he's an Ohio State Buckeyes fan. Snarf.
Is it true about kicking a hole in the wall?
The Buckeyes lost. They got trounced yesterday. Yo, but this man's a Purdue fan who
Go
I
Boilermakers.
can't believe you never produced any art on your man, the 7'4".
7'4". Zach Ivy. Oh no, Zach. Yeah. Eddie. Zach Eddie. Or Zach Eady. Zach Eady. Yes.
Yes, Edie.
Eady. Zach Eady.
Edie. Bernard knows.
7'4". Snurf. You know what that means.
We need Jim Cheung to stop cooking and get on this goddamn stream. I already know he's listening because I called him, goddammit.
All right, let's give this away. Snurf. The birds say yes. Brian, if both birds land on my shoulder, you win a free sticker.
Ooh,
Limited edition metallic sticker.
sticker, nice. I want a sticker.
But you don't even know her.
It's okay. I'm a quick look. Wait, who's Go Blue? Who's that? Kevin West. Who's Go Blue my butt?
Brian is very drunk.
Go Blue.
Wow, something triggered.
Whoa, I'm
Guys,
not.
I'm sorry,
Yo,
sorry. Brian's very drunk.
Kevin P. West.
Kevin P. West is a very cool guy.
Kevin P. West. Kevin P. West.
Kevin P. West, go blue.
No. And he uses the number 23. You know what that means, Bernard.
What does that mean?
Yo, Kevin P. West. Come on.
Who's 23?
Show yourself.
I know it's Michael Jordan.
Yo, if you claim yourself to be 23, you're saying I'm the GOAT. I'm the GOAT. Are you the GOAT?
The goal for
Michigan kicked the crack out of Wisconsin. You're not talking about college hockey? Who cares about hockey? No one cares about hockey. Are there any Canadians on this fucking
Angry
WeChat?
Brian.
Are there any Canadians? Yo, golf boy, when you bring up Go Blue, I will be super angry.
Sorry,
I
guys.
will be super
Brian is
angry.
very angry.
I will be. Yo,
He's spitting all over me on my
I'm
thigh.
glad you signed Jim Harbaugh for another 15 years. Damn. Damn.
Brian is, this is the first time he's been let out of his apartment in LA.
Although I have nothing against Canada.
I have to apologize for him.
Lurky lurker, I love Canada. I'm a big fan of Canada. I'm just saying, Michigan, whatever, Go Blue 23. No one's talking about college hockey.
Lurker, we love you, dude.
I love my Canadian
Spin the
brethren.
wheel. I want to throw up.
In fact, when Bernard talked about doing an audition and punching a hole in the wall, that was in Montreal, right, Bernard?
What?
Was that in Montreal or what?
What was in Montreal?
When you
Kicking
did
a hole in the wall.
Oh yes,
read.
yeah. That was in my
was
hotel
Montreal.
room. That was in
Yeah,
my
Bernard
hotel room.
and
I had to cover up the hole I had to move the TV to cover up the hole. You got so angry. I was like, "Go Blue," and then boom.
That's right. He said go blue and I punched a hole in the wall. That's how I feel about that. 23 is my lucky number.
I was just about to check out, and I had to move the TV cabinet over to cover it.
I know. I don't think I think they 5 years later they still haven't found it.
No, I hope not.
Michigan was up by 40 tonight in college basketball.
Kevin P. West, stop egging my boy Brian on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Kevin P. West, leave Brian Yang alone.
I need to verify this.
He's a very handsome guy, and he's just like, he pretends to be other people for a living.
This. Hold on. I need to verify. They were up 40.
D. Rogers. God damn it! You guys are egging me on.
Holy shit.
By the way, Kevin P. West made me draft entire Lions team for my fantasy football league this year.
Wow.
Kenny Galladay was garbage this year. I don't know about their team.
Michigan won by 23 tonight in basketball.
Yeah, that's a good bet on Michigan.
That's
God damn it.
Ranked 7 versus 9. They won by 23. So Kevin P. West is talking about basketball. Insanity documentary. Oh shit, James Quote. He knows what's up.
James Cole, you watched the Insanity documentary?
Okay, I just want to know.
Hey, Bernard, Sean, sorry to,
No. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Hey,
I'm setting up the wheel.
Is fucking. Excuse me. Are we sorry?
Hey,
My
no
bad.
cursing, no cursing.
No cursing. Is Juwan Howard for real?
Juwan Howard.
He's the
Yeah,
coach of the
Juwan
Michigan
Howard,
Wolverines.
I said the Michigan Fab Five.
Yeah, he's the coach of their college team right now. Is he for real? He's like they're 11-0. They just beat the number 9 ranked team by 23.
I thought we were talking about the Insanity documentary.
No, I get hung up on this fucking Michigan shit.
Kevin P. West has all the stats. He's like Wikipedia for college sports.
Their first team won by 19 plus.
I'm with Kevin P. West.
Coach of the year. Are they gonna win the NC2A March Madness?
Brian, stop antagonist. Don't be so antagonistic.
I'm not just asking a real question.
Look, people are listening and they think you're antagonistic.
If you hold Control P, you can actually punch him on the keyboard.
Guys, you guys are all the best, and I am genuinely looking forward to seeing all your panel-to-panel drawings tomorrow.
If they have what?
Screw Jim Chung. That guy is just cooking and being, I'm the fucking James Bond of comics.
He looks like my friend.
Sean looks like your friend.
Yeah.
Bernard,
Isn't
you
Sean?
understand your simple graphics are tricking people like Brian right now.
Wait, Brian, look at the screen. You can see Sean's gonna kick. Push Control K right now.
Kick Jerry in the nuts. Oh.
Bernard,
Okay.
I think I have to get off this for the sake of the stream.
Hey,
Why?
D.
No,
Rogers,
this is awesome.
95 was a good year, first of all.
I really think I should get off for the sake of the stream.
The answer is yes, D. Rogers. The answer is yes.
I just see Jim Chung's face smiling at me, like the Asian Ryan Seacrest that he is. And I really do think I have to get off. Bernard, Sean, you guys are the bomb. Everyone in this stream, we love you guys. Can't wait to see your drawings tomorrow.
Someone's phone.
Oh, that's Jim Chung calling
Oh
you.
my god, Bernard's cousin is calling.
Jim Chung's calling you.
And this should be.
Okay, guys, I gotta go.
No,
Don't let her know
no,
your
no.
drawings.
Hang on.
Hi, honey.
Hey, baby.
All right, guys, I gotta go.
Hey,
Sorry.
baby. Number 1 class next year. Did you just log out?
Wow, it came like a tornado.
Oh wow, that was
Are they gone
hurricane.
now?
Hurricane. Yeah, I think they're off now. Happy
Cool.
holidays.
Well,
All right, I'm pretty much done with setting up the wheel. I've added everybody's. If you're new to the stream tonight, if you get a chance to win this sketch, this is the wheel. Everybody that's watched tonight gets a chance to win, but just type something in the chat so I can assign you a slice. Otherwise, speak now or forever hold your peace until the next stream. Ooh, that was like a hurricane. That was Hurricane Brian.
it was a fun change.
It was, yeah, so it's the energy, definitely the energy level in the room. That was a, okay, let me give Hey Bobby a slice. Oh, you got one already, Hey Bobby. Your slice goes from 1 to 2, yeah. So each consecutive stream that you guys show up at, your slice gets bigger. If you miss a stream, it goes back down to 1. But if you're a sub, your slice stays whatever size it was. So, so you know, we got some people that are 20, 25. Rent is paid. Let me give you a slice. Rent is paid. Gonna give you a blue one. Rent paid. So you start at 1. If you win, your slice goes back down to 1. But everybody has a chance to win. You just have to, you know, type something. Hit that follow button. Make sure you hit that follow button down here. Wow, it feels so quiet and empty in the room now.
So what were you reading lines for? You were reading lines with Brian for something?
Yeah, he had the audition, video audition for a part, and so I have to read.
Oh, so you weren't auditioning for anything, right?
No. I was just reading the other lines that normally the producer would read in the room.
Oh, okay.
So he has to, you know, have feedback, right?
Okay.
So I forgot what he was auditioning for, but
But you are in a movie, though. Did you tell people?
I was in a movie.
You know, though. I mean, you came over here to do an acting part, and then you went back to LA.
Oh, last year, yeah, for
Yeah.
the movie Boogie. It comes out next year, but it's just it's an extra. I don't have any
Yeah.
speaking roles. I just eat in the background.
That's cool.
You know. Rent is paid. So and then if you get a sub, if you subscribe, your slice remains the same size if you miss a stream or not, and you get an extra slice that week when you sub. So just make sure you type something in so I know you're here, or if I remember you from the chat. Basically you get one slice. Your slice goes up one size. Ironically, a lot of people that are that have one slice or smaller, I mean, we can't have smaller than one, but have one slice or smaller slices, have actually won equally as same as somebody with a large 20 slice.
And statistically, that doesn't really work that way, but
Yeah. Well, it seems like it.
yeah, it seems like it. But you know, but I think it's cool though that you increase people's slices. I mean, you're actively working so that it's as fair as possible, so that everyone has the best chance of winning something.
Right.
I think that's great. Like, it's a lot of work, but it's great that you do that.
Has there been a regular person that's been on? Has there been a subscriber that has not won something yet?
He probably has like a huge quarter wheel slice then, right?
Well, there's some people with like 20 something, 25, 26. Yeah. D. Rogers is actually. D. Rogers just won recently, so one slice down to 1, the other's at 15. So he was at 35. Oof. So D. Rogers finally won. Anybody else? Volendor won the first time, and Lurky Lurk won the first time he came on stream. So beginner's luck sometimes works out. Shoe Thief's at 22. All right, anybody else? Anybody else want a slice? I think I pretty much got everybody. All right. Wow, this setting up the wheel was pretty fast today. We need Brian and Jerry to come right when we're going to set up the wheel.
Entertain everybody.
Right.
Rip roaring drunk too.
I think that's the key. We need to get some kind of like massive entertainment. Simple Man. Let's see. Simple Man. Do you still have one? Yes, you do. Simple Man. Yours went from 1 to 2. Okay, so I'm saving the slice as it is. Nobody else. Via Air got one too. Where is Via Air? Oh, there it is, Via Air. Via Air just won. When did you win last time, Via Air? I think like a month ago or so. Okay. We all know what's coming next. Unfortunately, is the poll. New poll. Practice spin. Yes or no? 1 minute poll. You can use your bits or poops, channel poops. This is usually like right now we see the wheel. The wheel is set. It's on. Oh, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I should. Who's this? Let me see. Who's this big blue one? That'll give me an idea of who the. Who is this? D. Rogers. Okay, so that's D. Rogers. That's D. Rogers down here towards the bottom with the 15 slice. So that is kind of around purple. D. Rogers, kind of purple. Right now it's set on Beef Skellington. So very, I think usually around the 3rd or 4th spin it comes back to the same situation. So anyways, here's the poll going up. Yes or no, just 1 minute, quick poll, and then we're going to give this piece away. You got to be here to win. 3 hours, 17 minutes.
Guess who's back, boy?
That was quick, Jerry. You better last longer next time with my cousin.
Sorry, guys,
that
but
was
guess who's back in town?
It's drunk Jerry.
Hey, looker, what up? Pandemos, what up?
So when you're really drunk, is there a part where you start crying and stuff? So we get to see that too.
Now who's gonna go to Janoff Stationery tomorrow to say hello to
Not
hungover
me.
Jerry? Oh, Jerry's got the day off.
That's right, boys. That's why I'm drinking all night long.
Oh. Okay, no practice spin. No practice spin. All right, no practice spin. Here we go.
No practice spin in the honor of my being off tomorrow.
Yes,
Jerry, don't look at the wheel when it's
Jerry. Look, if you
that's
look at the
right.
wheel and you throw up,
Finally, someone's gonna throw up when this wheel spins.
Brian, please throw up in Jerry's sink tonight.
I will. I'll make sure I do tonight.
or at least pee in it, you know.
Oh, I've done that.
Okay, sorry.
I
All
can't
right.
wait. I can't wait.
Spin wheel. Here we go. Whoops, I pushed the wrong button. Spin wheel. Shoe thief. Is Shoe thief here?
I didn't see
Shoot
you.
thief.
Shoe thief's not here. Well, what's the word? Steve, our moderator, is the wheel judge.
Can we get fucking Jim Cheung back on this shit?
If he says,
Again with the Jim.
I think
Cheung.
Jim Cheung's eating dessert now, or maybe he's having tea. No mercy. What is Steve? Once Steve says no mercy, then I spin. Steve, is Steve still there? Sans mercy. Voldendor's getting into it. Okay. Hey Jerry, wouldn't it be cool if we had like MMA match Voldendor versus Va'air
Orando.
versus Va'air? All right, spin wheel.
Versus who?
Va'air. There's Va'air versus Voldendor.
Vorando.
I mean, that's a story in itself.
Shall not pass.
You know, no matter who Vorando goes against, I just feel like he's gonna win. I'm sorry, guys.
That's a badass name.
Yeah, Vorando. He doesn't lose anybody.
Avocado, you gotta like type something in earlier. I got you in here, but I haven't added your. You got a white slice. I haven't added. Let me increase your slice the second time here. You gotta avocado. You gotta type earlier, otherwise you're gonna
Bernard
get
wants
missed
you guys
out.
to come back every time he's setting up the wheel because the wheel takes a long time. So you guys
Yeah.
like, were very entertaining, and the wheel setup is a very like low energy moment.
Right.
So you guys really change the energy level. When you show up.
Hey, can I just make one request to everyone on the stream? The TV show Warrior on HBO. I do think, unfortunately, for that show, we need everyone to just go on that show and send a message to HBO and just ask, like, we need more of it. So if you guys are listening, I think it's a pretty solid show. Just watch it. Give it a couple of episodes. And if you like it, write to HBO and just ask them you need more, if that's cool. Because we have some friends that are on that show, and it'd be pretty cool to see it keep going.
Well, can
No.
you bring them in?
That's a good endorsement.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we'll get Perry on this show. I think
Okay, cool.
Yeah, let's get Perry. He's the mob boss with the one blind eye, right?
Yeah, he's like one of the main stars of
Yeah.
that show. And I think if we bend a couple of rules, we could probably get Jason on this show.
Yeah, but Jason's in Hong
Tobin.
Kong though.
Jason Tobin.
Jason's in Hong Kong.
He's the bomb.
Okay, let's spin wheel. Spin wheel. Spin wheel. Make sure, Jerry, look into the screen right now.
I'm gonna hurl. I hope I hurl on Jim Cheung's face.
Jim Cheung, the slowest cook in the world.
Oh, who's
Fucking
this?
the Asian Ryan Seacrest.
Wildstorm.
He's making Thanksgiving dinner every night. It takes him half a day to make.
I know. What the hell?
I think he's making breakfast by now. Wildstorm. Is Wildstorm here? Kevin.
He was supposed to be HBO cook.
Is Wildstorm still here? Wildstorm. Wildstorm going once. Wildstorm going twice. Wildstorm might have fallen asleep.
Wildstorm is just keeping up with the trends.
Wildstorm is out. Anybody, what's the call there? Yojimbo or Steve?
No mercy.
I think Jerry said it. No mercy. No mercy.
No mercy. Hey, Demos, be skeleton. I know you guys are with me. No mercy.
Okay, look at the screen. Watch the screen. Oh.
This is a very long spin,
It
goddammit.
is. I'm trying to make you throw up. Oh, okay, who's that? Blue next to a yellow. That looks like Let's Do This.
Oh yeah, he's just,
He's not here.
I just saw him this weekend.
Let's Do This. Is he Let's Do This here? That's not. I don't know. Wait.
Wait, Sean, let's do this. Is your boy?
I saw him. I see him all the time.
Aye,
He's a local guy.
No, that's Aurora. Sorry, that's Aurora.
Aurora.
Aurora,
Here?
is she here? Is Aurora here? No, Aurora's not
I'm gonna
here.
text her right now.
Tell her we're giving away the Yoda.
I'm dialing.
Tell her we're giving away the Yoda. She better sign on. I'm gonna give her 5 seconds. 4.
Wait.
Don't encourage drunk people to call.
It's
I'm texting as fast as I can.
1 a.m.
She's like, you woke me up last night.
I'm not worried about that part.
All right, no mercy.
Right, guys, you guys are gonna hear me call her live. Right
Okay,
now.
all right. We'll give her 5 seconds to jump on to win a Yoda.
Okay, great. You can hear me. You guys can listen to me. You guys can listen to me. I'm gonna wake her up at 1 in the morning.
I feel so bad. If you do wake her up, I'll give her a yo.
I'm calling her right now. She's like, "What the fuck?"
Are you drunk, Jerry?
Answer,
And
answer.
if she doesn't pick up, then call Courtney. So anyone, right? Anyone.
Courtney would make more sense. She's in the West Coast.
Right, Courtney would be up.
Aurora's in the East Coast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she didn't answer.
Well, no mercy. We gotta move on. We tried.
All right, we'll go
She
Courtney.
has caller ID. That's why she didn't.
We tried. Do they even call it caller ID anymore? You gotta get back.
Yeah.
That hurts, guys.
Remember, there used to be a little box.
That really does sting a lot. I'm used to girls answering when I call them.
Wow.
When girls don't answer, I gotta say, it stings a little. Whether or not I'm dating Bernard's cousin, like, you gotta answer the phone. It's respect.
Okay, spin wheel. Watch the screen. No mercy. Here we go. Oh, okay. What is this? Who is this? Who is this? Blue, red. Blue,
T.
red.
Rogers, get back!
Who is this? Who is this? Blue, red. Red, blue. Red, blue, beige. Red, blue, beige.
Bernard's cousin is not just Bernard in a wig.
Yeah, it's me in a wig and a G-string.
She's actually quite beautiful, goddammit, and I love her very much, guys.
I know I'm beautiful.
Hey,
Thank
You
you.
guys didn't hear that here.
I never knew you felt that about me, Cherry. That's actually Yoji. But
Lord.
wait, I think that's Yoji.
Is Yoji still here?
But-
I mean,
Jimbo is just stuff. He's a.
Okay,
he's
hold
just
on. I gotta
digging
zoom
back.
in. I gotta zoom in. Cause Yoji has that kind of beige slice. But look how far back.
Well,
I gotta
he's
go.
here.
I know he is here. I gotta zoom back here. Once I know who's next to him, then I can. Okay. This light blue
look
is
at that lovely drawing.
D. Rogers. All right. And then D.
I
Rogers.
gotta improve this part of the routine.
Yeah. D. Rogers is next to a red. Where is D. Rogers? There's too many people on the wheel. But everybody on the wheel is a sub or like a or jumping on the stream today. So, or a special guest. Where is D. Rogers?
D. Rogers. She don't gotta zoom in on nothing, goddammit.
Okay, D. Rogers, then Jerry. So that's D. Rogers' second slice.
Maybe because it's vertical and your eyes are so can't read.
Blues Boy, Ray Sucks, Yoji. That's Yoji. Yojimbo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Yojimbo.
Yeah, you wins quite a bit.
It's Yojimbo's second slice.
You gotta send me your address too.
It's
'cause I gotta
Yojimbo's
stop-
second
stop
slice.
sending you.
Yeah, because Yojimbo once you hit 20, then you have 2 slices. And the second slice. So congratulations, Yojimbo. Wow, Yojimbo hardly won. I don't think he won. Maybe once he won like a shitty prize, and then he's gotten like 2 art prizes so far. So
I mean, it could be a little rigged.
it could not have gone to a nicer person.
Yeah, I mean that guy actually has duties in this place. I mean, well
Until
deserved.
Jim
so.
Cheung makes me dinner, this shit is rigged.
If Jim Cheung makes you dinner, you gotta wait a long time.
Well, I think that's it for tonight. I want to thank everybody. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks to our special guest. Special guest every night, is he?
Brian, how long are you in New York?
I am here until just.
Go Blue.
Buckeyes forever!
Hey, all y'all.
Yo, Brian had a great sports weekend. You know, he's a Steelers fan and a Buckeyes fan.
Oh yeah.
So
What happened to the
It was really
Steelers?
cool to have him here with me to see this like catastrophic downfall.
We lost by a combined 100 points. It was very thrilling.
It made me feel good, guys.
I hate fucking football. Losing by 100 points sucks.
All right, guys, let's not get so bummed out by Brian's sports downfall.
Really sucks. I wish I was like.
Bernard, this
I
was an
hate
amazing
it.
drawing. Amazing drawing. I love it.
Very nice drawing, yes.
All right. And we say so instead of saying goodbye on the stream, we say happy holidays.
And we say, see you soon. Happy holidays, boys. See you soon.
Crispy Papa, D. Rogers, Beef Skellington.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy Hanukkah.
Okay, I'm getting out of here. See you later. Thanks, Sean.
All right, thanks for coming, everybody. So,
Oh, Sean Chen's books comes out tomorrow. Better pick that
yeah,
up.
tomorrow.
Chris Claremont.
Chris Claremont anniversary special.
And Jerry
Yeah.
has a new shirt on his epicprops.com site.